Money on my mind, got my money in my mind, right? Money on my mind, got no time for that limelight. I'm from California, man, I guess we'll start with that. Banged out starter caps, glued to the cul-de-sac, looking like an artifact, trying to get their money back. Yellow jackets coming, mama about to have a heart attack. Southeast San Diego, we was at the heart of that. You moved about the hood, my nigga, you ain't want no part of that. Move to work and let the money drip the laundry mat. I pray to God the homie get his little daughter back. So many problems and it's not even a part of rap. So many suckers and they hating and they copycat. And life is bigger than these bitches that you hollered at. And if you bleed it out, I better get $3 back. And all I'm giving is the facts. Pay attention to the stats and never making mention of the jacks. Gotta keep the money stacked, work your way through the traps. Money motivated to the max. Money on my mind, got my money in my mind, right? Money on my mind, got my money in my mind, right? Money on my mind, got my money in my mind, right? Money on my.
What up? What up? What up? Yeah, we in this bitch early today, man. I told y'all, man. Hey, listen, it's all kind of protest and shit going on, man. We on top of all this shit, man. We got No Kings protest. Y'all thought I wasn't gonna pull up for the No Kings protest? This is the remix with Cali Dre. Cali Dre is in the motherfucking building, man. Listen, the people turning up today. You know what I'm saying? The people are turning up today, and we're gonna be a part of it. We're gonna be a part of it. So sit back, roll the gas up, post something up, you know what I'm saying? And watch the people exercise their right to get out here and protest. That's what we on today. It's No Kings protests going on all over the country, man. So we're gonna tap in with some of these men and find out what the people all about, man. This is the remix with Cali Dre, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking with your boy. We keep you tapped in today on this politics. You know what I mean? We're gonna hit the streets with it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of activity going on all across the country. And yeah, I definitely want to check in with some of these rallies, man. So sit back, you know what I'm saying? And chill out with your boy. We about to figure it out, man. I'm trying to get the pulse of the people right now. I'm trying to find out where the people land at. You know what I mean? And so shit, it ain't no better way to do that than to listen to the motherfucking people, man. So yeah, that's where we at, man. That's what we on. That's what we finna do for the next little while, man. So yeah, let me set this up real quick. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe to the channels, man. Appreciate y'all for rocking with your boy. Yeah, I told y'all, man, I was gonna be back, man. We definitely gonna cover some of these No King protests today and find out, you know, what's the pulse of the country right now. You know what I mean? Gas prices up, shit high as fuck everywhere, and the people want answers, man. The people is demanding answers, and so today is that motherfucking day, man. Today is that motherfucking day, man. And so yeah, we're gonna check in with the people, man. So let's do that, man. This is the remix with Cali Dre. Appreciate y'all for rocking with your boy, man. Subscribe to the channel, like, comment, all that. I may even drop that link at some point. Okay, so we got actually it's protests going on all over the world. I just saw something in Europe as well. So we're gonna actually check in and see what the people talking about today. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna check in with the people, man. You know what I mean? I can get up here and talk to y'all all goddamn day, but for me, you know what I mean? I'm about visuals. You know what I'm saying? I'm about visuals and residuals in this motherfucker, man. So I'm gonna give y'all the visual so y'all can peep out the other side of the spin that you're getting over there on conservative media. You know what I'm saying? This is what the people are saying. So that's why we covering this shit. You know what I mean? Y'all know I do the politics. Usually I go on a little later, you know what I'm saying? But today, oh, we might be on this motherfucker all day, man. I might be on this motherfucker all day. We got protests going on, a bunch of rallies, bunch of speakers. So yeah, we're gonna try to check in with some of this, man. Get a pulse of where the country is. And yeah, man, you know what I mean? Sit back, pull up, roll up. Because this is what living in a democracy looks like. You know what I'm saying? When things are not going the way that they're supposed to go, sustained, persistent resistance is the only way to get change, man. And so that's what we're looking at. So let's check in with this a little bit. It's the remix with Cali Dre, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking with your boy.
Hey, good. It's fantastic. Fantastic. My name's Ralph. I'm one of the Minute Marshals.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't even know where this is, man. We're gonna check in with a bunch of different venues. But as you can see, they not fucking with Trump. As you can see, they not fucking with Trump. You feel me? And so yeah, man, we're gonna tap in with a few different destinations and locations and find out what's going on this No Kings Day, man. I told y'all I would be back, man. I told y'all I would be back. The TikTok MAGA mongrels, they don't want me to come back, but damn it, I'm back. Let's check in with the country, man, and see what the people talking about today, man. As you can see, we got a large protest somewhere in America. I think this is why it might be DC. But that's not y'all. That's not y'all thought that was it. Oh man, come on, man. This shit going on all day. We finna check in with somebody. This shit's going on all day. You know what I mean? Let's go live with this shit. Let's go live. Who out here protesting, man? I'm gonna just randomly pick somewhere. Okay, what these people over here doing? What's going on over here?
Who built organizers and built power from the ground up. And I greet you in the name of Dr. Hazel N. Dukes, who marched, who fought, and led with courage in our very own lifetime. I greet you in the name of those whose names we do not know, who organized when it was dangerous, who spoke when it was costly, and who built power when it was unpopular. We come from a people who didn't just show up, we organized. Let me hear you say we organized.
Let's go.
Who didn't just
so this New York, No Kings protest going on in New York.
All right now, they didn't just hope and wish, they built the future they wanted to see. So today, in this same spirit, we don't just show up and demonstrate with our beautiful signs and our beautiful sweatshirts. We are showing up today because we also organizing is not just about gathering, whether it be in this building or out in the streets today. It's about building the future and the democracy we want to live in. What we are doing today matters. Demonstrations matter. Marching matters. Showing up matters. All across not only this state, but across the nation, NAACP members are showing up to make sure the historical record reflects that we do not consent to this administration's cruelty. We do not consent to this war. We do not consent to anti-democratic rule. But we aren't just showing up today and going home tomorrow, because power is not built in one moment. It is built in the days after today, the weeks after today's rally, and over the next few months when the press won't be here. Power is built when we Power is built when we knock the doors, when we grow our numbers and have real conversations to move people to action. Organize is how we build something that lasts. Because the powerful sisters and the ancestors who I called upon to march with us today didn't win because they showed up once. They won because they organized again and again and again and again and again and again and again. Until this country had to change.
Yeah, she 1,000% right about that.
For principled leadership with strong spines and Megan Thee Stallion knees.
Oh shit! Okay, that's what it take out here.
Too many elected officials, too many corporate leaders, too many people with a microphone and with a camera who are choosing to bow or they're frozen in fear.
Yeah,
we do not bow to kings in a democracy.
Nah, not at all. We're not doing that.
That is submission.
Not on my watch.
That is not the moment today. Is not the moment. This period is not the moment for weak-kneed leaders who bow under pressure, who trade principles for access, who choose comfort over courage.
She turned up. She finna turn these protests up.
Who will stand with the people, and if you can't stand firm in this moment, then you need to get out of the way.
Yeah, that's kind of where the people at. You listening to the people today?
We will organize.
No Kings protest going on. This is New York. We're gonna check in with some other locations here in a minute.
Will stand with the people.
Amen.
Because we don't just show up today. We don't just show up with placards. We don't just show up with buttons. We organize. Democracy is not something we watch. It's not something you set and forget. It's something you work for every single day.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a fact. Let's check in with some of the other locations and find out what's going on out here in these streets. And it's the remix with Kelly Drake.
Without knowing how to.
We're gonna check out these No Kings protests today, man, and find out what's what. Because yeah, the country is turned up, man. The country is turned up. People want answers. You know what I'm saying? And shit, that they deserve answers. What the fuck is going on? How we gonna fix this shit? You know what I mean? Let me see. Here, let me try to find out what else is going on in the country, man. Hold on. Yeah, let's go to the ATL, man. Let's go to the ATL and find out what the fuck going on.
Support of the Snow Kings demonstration today. Giovanni, what have you witnessed today and just marching here from Memorial Drive, Greenway, all the way down to the Capitol and back? What are your impressions?
I just see solidarity. I see people that are frustrated with the way things that are going in this country and really the world at large, because, you know, the U.S., for better or worse, is the world's strongest superpower. So whatever happens in the U.S. has ramifications all over the world, right? Like when there's a cough when there's a cold in the U.S., there's a cough all around the world. So as the world superpower, we have more of an onus to do good in the world, right? And that's how I think about this, you know?
We've
Yeah.
seen
People are pissed off.
demonstrators coming out.
People are
for
pissed off.
A myriad of reasons, right? What brought you specifically here today?
Well, first of all, our president's a child molester. Everybody knows this.
Oh, there it
you know
is.
it, you know
There
it.
it go.
Kids know it.
There you go.
That's the first thing. Second of all, I'm upset with the ICE raids. I'm upset at the fact that we literally have ICE patrolling our airports right now. That's fucking insane. Like, are we just cool with this? Are we just gonna accept this? Like, why are we cool with this as a country? This is disgusting. This place.
All right,
claims
we
to
want
be
to
the
thank
land
Joe
of the free,
Ripley
but
very
this
much
is what's-
for being out there. I know that we have some.
Yeah, you see they had to cut him off.
Very
ACDC
passionately.
getting
He's
to that
obviously
real,
talking to
and
somebody
they
who
cut
has
him
a lot
off.
of passion
The people
about
are
this
fucking
issue,
pissed
but
off, man.
this is a
That's why
family
we looking
program,
at
so
this.
we apologize for that
Listen,
profanity.
I get
He is
tired of
out
telling y'all
at
the same
the
shit every night.
Atlanta
Now,
protest
y'all need to hear from the people,
downtown,
man.
and he saw thousands of people marching there earlier. Joe, what did it look like when you first got there this morning? How long was it before people
Hit that
started
like button.
gathering there at the Atlanta downtown protest?
Yeah, my apologies for that language there. We were not anticipating that, but of course that does come with the territory of covering these demonstrations live. So we got here.
Yeah,
about,
as you can see,
8:30,
when shit,
9 o'clock.
listen, that was an important lesson right there. I gotta get back to the camera for this shit. That was an important lesson right there. When the people really start talking about what's going on, and they speaking the people's language, corporate media, for all of its, you know, the things they have done. One of the things they don't do is just let the people be the people, right? They got a dump button. They could have, it's like probably a 15-20 second delay. Somebody in the control room fucked that up. So let's just be clear about that. The people gonna speak what the people speak, man. You know what I mean? And if y'all gonna be out there, y'all gotta be ready for what the people have to say. Let's get back to this shit, man.
To see those protesters disperse, we notice how they gathered there in the center lawn, heard from various speakers from the ACLU of Georgia, from Indivisible, voting rights group, other grassroots organizations, CASA, an immigration advocacy organization as well. We even heard from Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock, whose compatriot in the U.S. Senate from Georgia, John Ossoff, faces re-election. And so he, of sorts, campaigned for his fellow senator there in calling out Congress's gridlock there, as you might have noticed, those long lines at the airport stemming from a partial government shutdown. That's what drew some people out here today, is that they feel like the government is ineffective, but really they believe that starts at the top with President Trump himself, whether it is foreign policy and the war in Iran, as well as U.S. actions across the world, around the world, when it comes to action in Venezuela and Africa and other parts of the globe. Others came out because they believe their rights are being scaled back, because they believe democracy is under threat and under attack here in the United States. And they are feeling that here at home. And then you have those who have called out President Trump's immigration crackdown. We have seen mention of ICE facilities being built in a couple of locations here in Metro Atlanta. And so a lot of those folks say their friends and families, they're worried about them because they believe that with ICE cracking down, they've seen the scenes in Minnesota where 2 people were killed at the hands of ICE. And so they are worried that some of that same trouble and violence could come here to Atlanta. They say this really isn't that far away. They feel this really in their homes. And these are kitchen table topics that people repeatedly have brought up as discussing with their friends and their families. You talk about affordability as well. You may have heard that throughout this streaming broadcast here, but folks see the price of gas every day. They see less money possibly in their pockets. They see their buying power.
Welcome to the new generation of web creation, where words can launch a business, while you control every detail.
Yeah, let's check in with some other protests, man. Let's see what else is going on. Let's check in with Orlando, man. That was ATL. We're gonna check in with Orlando real quick.
To the protest.
Hit that like button for your boy. Subscribe to the channel, man.
Where Fox 35's Matt Trezza is on the ground. He's been all over the region all day today and joins us live now from Orlando. Matt, we appreciate you joining us. How are things looking there downtown right now?
Very, very crowded here at Orlando City Hall Plaza. Take a look around. You can see there are tens of thousands of people who are out here. City Hall Plaza is packed. This is a much larger turnout than the last time we were out here covering one of these similar events, but a similar scene as far as the people, the costumes, the flags, the posters, and the message that they are giving against the Trump administration and the president's policies. So I don't see any counter-protesters at this point. Across the street from where we're standing at City Hall Plaza, there are a number of Orlando police officers. That's been typical of the way this has all gone. There, I would say, are several dozen.
Yeah, I'm about to put that link in the chat as well, man. Anybody want to come chop it up on this politics?
Has been before.
On this No Kings Day events that we got going on, man. I'm about to drop this link in the chat for y'all, bro. So I'm just chilling today. I ain't really doing a whole lot of commentary, man. We're just gonna check out what the people talking about, man. Y'all can come host this motherfucker if y'all want to, man. I'll at your boy.
The officers and keeping an eye on things, and that is what they continue to do at this time. I don't see anybody agitating or anything like that. This is a very joyful, positive crowd, I would say, the vibe out here. I see a lot of people, again, with posters that are satirical, that are making fun and poking fun at the president of the administration. I see, but I don't see anything that overtly seems just violent or angry in a way that is destructive at all. It all seems very constructive and positive, people supporting each other and just practicing their First Amendment right. And so that is how things are looking. It looks like they are trying to get some people their attention on a speaker's platform that is set up on the steps of City Hall. And it looks like we are going to be hearing some speeches. This only started about 20-ish minutes ago. So they really haven't begun kind of like any kind of proceedings or any kind of speeches being given or anything like that just yet. We're going to stick around and see what they have to say from the podium. But really, it's more just at this point, the people all gathering together, giving their message to the traffic, who's honking by, driving by, honking very often in response, and to fellowship with each other and their solidarity, which many of the signs show the word solidarity. Their solidarity here in being a united front against the policies that they disagree with of this administration. I want to see if there's any of them perhaps I could pull aside.
Yeah, we just checking in with these No Kings protests, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, man. Yeah, we're trying to figure this whole thing out, man. What is the people talking about?
Can I stop you for a second? Sure. My name is Matt. I'm with the local Orlando Fox TV station. Fox
This is
TV.
Orlando.
Yes.
No Kings protest.
Why are you out here today? What message do you want to give? And
That link is in the chat as well.
bringing you all together?
I think what's bringing me out, well, definitely what's bringing me out today is the fact that we need to be united against this regime. And this shows that it's working because the first protest had like 1 million, then it doubled the next year, and I'm hoping it's doubling this year. So we need to let our voices be known because they sure are being shut down anywhere else. So we want to let our views be known.
How many of these rallies in Orlando have you been to?
Well, I went 2 in Seminole County, and today I'm here.
What do you think about this turnout?
I think the turnout's great. I'm a little upset that they've really confined us to a small place. I mean, I get it, but still, we can't have as many as we would want. I'd love if we were able to march the street, but I doubt it.
What kind of message are you hoping to give you?
To resist this whole regime because it's not American.
Are there any particular policies or actions that the administration's taken that you really have issue with?
Well, I hate that they've dehumanized anybody that isn't white. I hate
Yeah,
that
that's a fact.
they choose money and billionaires over just the common people. I can't stand it that we pay so much more for food and gas and everything else. It's, how much more can we stand this? And it's only going to get worse with this war that nobody asked for.
And so when you see all the other people out here, though, and you see
All
them
facts.
carrying flags and
All facts.
banners, what message does it give you?
I think it's that, we are America and we are able to do these things because we just can. And I love seeing this. We just need to get this message out that not everybody is on board, with what's going on now.
Excellent. I appreciate
Yeah, I think she hit it right out the park. I think she hit a home run with that. I 100% agree with everything that she just commentated right there.
I think it's probably similar sentiments from the rest of the people who are out here voicing their opinions and their concerns. We're going to stay out here, talk with some of the other folks, and get some more perspective from anyone, from all different perspectives and stripes. Even if we find some counter protesters, we'll reach out to them as well and try and see what their take is as we continue kind of going through the crowd and seeing who's out here today. But for now, Garrett, I'll send it back to you.
All right, Matt, we appreciate it. And let us know about the speakers there if they start speaking at the podium or at the microphone there so we can listen in a little bit later. We just appreciate you.
Sure thing.
Great. The new GoDaddy Arrow has AI marketing tools to help small businesses easily reach.
All right, so let's check in with some more locations, man. That's what's going on in Orlando, man. Let's see what else we got going on out here. Now,
I want to get you to Seminole County, where a large group of protesters has shown up in downtown Sanford, and that's where Fox 35's Matt Trezza is joining us.
Okay, even Fox News covering the protest. Even Fox News is out here covering the motherfucking protest, man. That's how you know this shit real.
Yeah, having some trouble with our connection.
But they having trouble with the motherfucking connection. How convenient, Fox News. How fucking convenient, man.
Yes, I can hear you now.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and check in then with Fox 35's Matt Trezza joining us live.
Come on, man. Hurry up, Matt.
Sanford,
Put your ass on the camera, man. What's going on?
We're hearing
Okay, yeah. Okay, I think that's Orlando. Here, I want to get out of Orlando. Here, give me 1 second, man. I want to get out of Orlando. Real quick.
Several
This is the remix with Cali Dre, man. Get the like, subscribe to the channel, man. We're going to cover these No Kings protests today. Find out what's on the mind of the people, man. How the people really, feeling and reacting to what's going on in this country. You know what I mean? So yeah, y'all sit back, man. We're gonna tap in with a few of these little protest locations. Yeah, like I told y'all, this is Spain right here. Look, we finna spin overseas real quick. Look, this shit got Spain turned up. You know what I'm saying? We got the Spaniards turned up in this motherfucker, man.
How to deal with this number 2. I'm struggling because the easy thing for me would be to lean into
Looks like globally, people are trying to voice their opinions and their concerns about what's going on in America.
I'm here to protest against a man that doesn't belong in the White House. He is completely and 100% unqualified. He cares nothing about America. He cares nothing about the American people. He cares nothing about the people of the world. And the only thing he cares about is himself and his billionaire buddies, and that's it. And everything else is just a farce.
Because we're a political organization. Get every American you know. It's sad that we have to be here once again to protest this god-awful president.
We're here to say no tyrants. The power belongs to the people, and to demonstrate our opposition to the actions of the Trump regime to debilitate our democracy.
That's what Trump wants. He wants us to not know this. But number 1, for you to do it, you can give me and still.
Yeah, we checking in with what's going on. This is overseas right here, man. They protesting all over the world, man. Let's see. Let's get back to it, man. Let me see what else we got going on here. Let me see what other protests we got lined up, man. It's gonna be going on all day. So we're gonna be tapping in with a bunch of different locations to find out what's the pulse of the people, man. What the people really on. What the people really on, man. What the people really talking about out here. You know what I mean? Cause yeah, it's a lot of shit going on out here in the world, man. And we definitely want to make sure that we are tapped in. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we gotta stay tapped in, man.
This is how
What's
easy
going
it is.
on here? Hit that like button, man. Subscribe to the channel. Yeah, look like they broadcast is looking goofy. What Virginia and Maryland talking
having me,
about?
a pleasure to be here. And yeah, I mean, I was just listening into your coverage, and obviously there are millions of people across the country that are showing up in big cities and small cities to show how they feel about this administration. I think the fact that this is the third time that these rallies are happening says something. I also think that the devil is going to be in the details in terms of, as you all were saying, what
So this is like the
happens from
DMV.
here. I think the fact that people are organizing on the streets is symbolically important. What needs to happen for change to occur is that this has to turn into a constituency that mobilizes beyond just protest days every few months and actually takes action on specific issues. And I think the other thing that probably is important with these protests is how much of this is an anti-Trump protest and how much of it is about bigger issues pertaining into democracy in this country. And I think we'll see sort of how that plays out. So the fact that there's so many people protesting shows a lot, but there's still a lot that has to happen for these protests to translate into real action.
So, Scott, piggybacking off of that idea about democracy, from what we've heard from the demonstrators there, this go around and the last was that they believe that there is a real existential threat to democracy at this point. Is that a legitimate concern based on the actions of the Trump administration up until this point?
I think that you're seeing a lot of indices demonstrate that democracy in this country is backsliding. You just had Freedom House come out with a report saying that U.S. democracy is on the downswing, as did a report called VDEM. And so you're seeing some of these objective reports come out and say that that democracy is on a downward swing. And I think that there have been actions that the Trump administration has taken that suggest a high degree of executive overreach, that suggests that they're not listening or really trying to work through Congress. And so I do think that there is a need for protesters to, and this is hard to do in this moment in time, but to distinguish between what are factors that might actually demonstrate that democracy is at risk, and what's policy that people don't like. And I think that that's always something that's a little bit challenging. Deportations are something that the executive government can engage in. How they're engaging in these deportations is probably something that that is beyond the pale in terms of our democracy. You're seeing similar things with the war in Iran. Going to war without congressional assent is something that is problematic. It's something that other administrations have done. But I think that democracy in this country has been declining for a number of years now. And the Trump administration seems to be a byproduct of that. And so getting a little bit more specific in terms of what that means is important. That said, I know people are in the streets. They're not going to get very nuanced in terms of what that means. But I think the distinction between we don't like this policy and democracy is at risk is always important to think about.
And Scott, as we have you up here, we're also looking at footage from protests here across the country. A major turnout here. I think the big question for a lot of people is, how do you take... I think that is really what a lot of people are asking, is how do you take that momentum and keep it going?
Yeah, I mean, I think you've seen a lot of countries when this happens, when people are upset and they're protesting what they feel is democracy backsliding and eroding. This translates into real sustained action. Sometimes you see general strikes. You saw some of that in Minnesota when you had the ICE raids happening there. So what's taking protests on the streets to actions that actually make it somewhat uncomfortable to go about everyday life? I think that's one thing that we'll see if that happens. This is actually translated into real sustained action. The other thing is you need these actions to translate into to real constituencies. I think a good amount to ask for people to protest on a Saturday, but are they going to organize in their communities? Are they going to campaign for folks that they want to win? Voting is one part of that I saw in the previous segment, but it's so much more than that. And so I think that one risk of this is, are you just asking people to come back and back and back to protest? Are they going to see change? How are you actually mobilizing people in their communities? And so I'm curious how much the protest organizers are thinking about that in terms of actually creating a constituency behind this. It's not just about the Democratic Party, but about beyond that. Versus, we're going to have the next No Kings protest in another 6 weeks. I think the organizers have to figure out how they get beyond these protests, which are, you see these images and it's quite consequential. But if you look at throughout history, if you look at the March on Washington, that was part of something bigger. The sense of this being part of something bigger, not just another Trump rally, but part of something that has a real constituency. It'll be interesting to see if that happens.
Yeah, I mean, it needs to be tied to policy, and what we've yet to hear from anyone associated with this group or others is what specifically are you going to do on the policy front to see this agenda through in the way in which you described. I want to get to a little bit of your work, because you do a lot of work on pro-democracy.
No, we're not getting to none of bro work, but I like what bro just said right there, because I think he had a lot of great points. It's definitely about mobilization. It's definitely about organizing and making sure that, these protests aren't the only thing that people are looking at. So let's check in with some more protests across the country, man, and see what's going on out here, man.
Sorry? I'm damn good at what I do at rallying people, but I'm not kidding.
SHEA-NAJAFI, and I'm the lead organizer for the rallies in conjunction with a lot of great organizations. I lead Scottsdale Women Rising. We've got Common Defense out here. Common Defense works to to engage families of military, active duty, and veterans. We're out here with Optimus Resist, Move On, a bunch of great organizations, and we're out here to say we believe in our Constitution, we believe in the rule of law.
Yeah, we got protests going on. This is the No Kings protest. This is like Scottsdale, Arizona, man. Arizona turned up.
So last rally we had about 3,000. A lot has happened since then, guys. A lot has happened. So we're anticipating about 4,000 people based off the RSVPs. 4,000 people out here in Old Town Scottsdale, and we've got 4 bands. We've got 4 live bands. Super great energy, really high energy. We are the Patriots out here. You're gonna find a lot of your friends out here, and we want you to come out and join us. You know, I look around and what I see here, these are the real patriots. These are people that believe in the rule of law. They believe in our Constitution. And to see them showing up on their Saturday in the heat, in big numbers, tells you that our population is not going to stand for this. And so to see these people, really, it's beyond moving. I have teared up many times to see all the faces out here. A lot of friendly people. Everybody's in a great mood. So grateful they all came out.
Ducks. All right, go Ducks. Go Ducks.
I don't think so. I think I'm done. Yeah, so we started out at the Apple Store, going all the way down Fifth Avenue. We've got bands spread out. So it's packed all the way. I don't know if you look around, you see nothing but American flags, a lot of great signs, funny signs. I love that people have some humor out here, but they're fed up. They're fed up, and you know, these are the real patriots who believe in the rule of law and the Constitution. And this is our country, and we're going to let our legislators know that we're not going to stand for this anymore.
Get ready for 5 times more engagement and views. Oh, the algorithms love streams and engagement.
Yeah, we got No Kings protests going on all across the country, man. All over the world, really. This is Arizona, it looks like, man. What else we got going on out here, man? I'm just roaming around the country trying to find out. Okay, this is Dallas, man. Let's see what's going on out in Texas, man. What's going on out in Texas, man? Okay, look like they getting it going. Look like they getting it going. We got Dallas on the left. We got Atlanta on the right. Try to find a video that has some commentary to it, man. So I ain't got to be talking to you motherfuckers all day. Hit that like button, man. Subscribe to the channel. Let's see what we got going on here, man. Oh, this Minnesota right here. What's going on in Minnesota,
Thanks,
man?
Trent. Really appreciate you.
You bet. All right, let's go ahead and get back out to our crews.
Yeah, let's
on
get
the
back
ground,
out to the
checking
streets.
Back in. All right, Joe McCoy,
Streets of Minnesota
at the
going
state
on.
capitol.
No Kings
Tons of
protest.
People already out there, Joe. You've said there are people who've been showing up for a few hours at this point. So set the scene for us. What are you seeing and experiencing out on the Capitol grounds?
Yeah, Raya, already thousands of people here at the Capitol. I spoke with some women who were here as early as 8 a.m. this morning to get a front row seat to this No Kings rally. This is, you know, obviously a huge sea of people here already, and we still have just under a couple of hours until the official No Kings rally begins. But this being the flagship rally, there are going to be some big names here. We know Bruce Springsteen is going to perform. Jane Fonda will be here. We know Senator Bernie Sanders will be here, and that is including a laundry list of local elected officials, including Governor Walz, Ilhan Omar, etc. So the crowd is very riled up. I was just talking with people. Of course, there's a laundry list of concerns that they have right now, which is why they're out here today. Immigration enforcement, top of mind for people, given the killings of Renee Good and Alex Preddy. The war in Iran is also a big concern. I talked with two veterans here who say that they are disgusted by the war in Iran and the millions of dollars that are being spent on that. People are also concerned about the economy that is, attached to the war in Iran with the increasing gas prices. So a lot of concerns on people's minds, but I do not believe the colder temperatures are keeping anyone away from being out here today. I was quite frankly very shocked by how many people were here when we arrived this morning around 10 a.m. As I said, people here hours before that. So these crowds are only continuing to grow as we still have about an hour and 45 minutes until the official protest kicks off, Raya.
Thank you for that reporting, Joe. We'll check back in with you soon as well. Thanks for being out there for us. Like we've said, Minneapolis is the epicenter, if you will, of these massive protests happening not only in the state, but across the country today. Organizers have said there are more than 3,000 of these so-called No Kings rallies being planned across the country, dozens of smaller ones happening across Minnesota as well. The state capitol is sort of the epicenter, the main flagship rally. So a lot of folks were expecting up to perhaps 100,000 people is what we've heard from organizers showing up today. This is the view right now from Sky 11. We'll leave you with this view for now, and we'll check back in with you in just a bit.
All right, so this Minnesota, man. It's Minnesota. Let's check in. Let's see where else we can go with this shit, man. There's a lot of different protest activities going on across the country. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, man. What else we got? What else we got, man? Here, let's do it like this. Here, we're just gonna go to the live section, man. See what's live out here, man. Who live? Where they at? Oh, here we go. You know Don Lemon out there. There's No Kings protest day. You know Don Lemon there. Let's go check in with old Don Lemon. Find out what the fuck they got going on over there, man.
Steve, it's been some years since we shared the screen, Steve, but happy to be on with you guys.
We're gonna make you and Steve part of the team next time. So just get ready. But go on.
I'm ready. If you stay ready, you'll have to get ready. So I'm ready. I want to say though quickly about the comments you were making about the networks. And Don, I know you're constantly saying please support independent media. Joy, what you referenced Brendan Carr, the chair of the FCC, and what he was saying, he made those remarks at the CPAC conference, and he was bragging about, like you said, getting rid of journalists like the people you see on the screen. But also, we've heard these similar comments from SecDef, or Secretary of War now, Pete Hegseth, where he said, you know, the sooner that David Ellison takes over that network, referring to CNN, the better. So they're letting us know right now what they're going to do. So when you look for information, I mean, we're living in a time right now where thousands of interests is competing for our attention. You know, people have these smartphones that contribute to the dumbing down of America. So a lot of people don't even know that the Three Kings or No Kings protest is happening today. I was with Jane Fonda and our friend Rashad Robinson last night. She spoke so eloquently about the threats to our democracy that we're seeing. So when I see all these people protesting, we have to acknowledge that there is a bucket of people who are not protesting. And I think those are the folks that we have to focus on, because if we keep holding up this fallacy, this fantasy of, oh, but wait till midterms, well, a lot of us feel like I ain't too keen on repairing something that never really served me. I'm not too keen on revisiting an era where people, I mean, respectfully, you know, a lot of the folks from the Never Trumper crowd, we're all locked arms together. But then when I see some of these people saying, tweeting, posting, and saying abolish ICE, and, you know, we have to rethink public safety, and what does this mean? Oh, turns out that wasn't such a radical idea after all. So I think collectively we have to come to the table and say, we have to give people something to believe in, because it is not just, well, we need to elect more people from this side of the aisle. Because, you know, on the Democratic side, there sometimes where we feel neglected and unheard in this, you know, big tent. And it's not that the MAGA party,
I agree with that. I actually agree with that.
these are a party of right-wing extremists. It's not that they were such great communications people and you hear the lie like, oh, they voted for Donald Trump for his foreign policy. We have to stop telling that lie. These right-wing extremists were so effective because they were rooted in our destruction, because they knew that there were people who did not want to operate in a multi-ethnic demographic society where everyone operated on equal footing. That is the truth of it. Of course, we can talk about Iran and the danger and its proxies and how they've been weakened for a while. And I, you know, still do some legacy media. And quite honestly, I'm offended that I'm sharing space with people who didn't know what the Strait was before 3 months ago, who could not name the bordering countries of Iran before, even today, who don't even know what the Caspian Sea is. And we are presented to the audience on equal footing, as though we are equal, as though their lack of intellect and their traffic in personal insults and regurgitating right-wing extremist talking points somehow is equivalent to an honest foreign policy argument. And that's the space that we're navigating. So I love seeing the protests. I love seeing the frustration, but I think we have to have honest, unfiltered conversation with each other right now on what the other part of this society looks like as we see the core pillars of our democracy crumbling, quite frankly. But I just want to say thank you again to you, Don.
Listen, Tiffany Cross just hit a home run with that. If y'all could go spin that back on y'all, because this is live right here, and I don't want to keep skipping, but she just hit a home run with that. That's 100% accurate right there.
That we have to also highlight the difference between journalists and people who have enough money to buy a podcast microphone and get a YouTube channel, because these are two different things. And we've seen what happens when audiences routinely tune out from legacy media or vetted journalists, and they start tuning into people who say things that are not always true, and this eagerness to be the first to say something. Everybody is not a journalist. You're looking at Joy, Don, and Jim are journalists, you know, on screen. And I just think as we get more to a disaggregated space, we're going to have some trouble with folks who call themselves journalists, who quite frankly are not.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's definitely a fact.
And Steve are longtime have worked in politics for a long time and have a history and a resume and the knowledge to be able to back up the words and the opinions or point of view that they're saying about what's happening. And there is a difference there as well, because if you look at especially the manosphere, people who came out of comedy, there's nothing wrong with that, but they're not steeped in politics. And there are no standards and practices and all the things that each of us has gone through, whether we're journalists or consultants or analysts. We still have gone through professional training, and we know that what we say must be rooted in reality and fact.
And I just want to say quickly, Don, I navigated newsrooms for 25 years. I studied journalism at the Clark Atlanta University. I built newsrooms. I got my start at CNN back in 2000. This is the time for everybody to gasp. No way, you were alive in 2000? Yes, I was. But, so it's even more heartbreaking to see what's happening to that network before my own eyes. I built a newsroom. I was a bureau chief here in DC. Joy and I obviously both anchored shows. And so we know the difference between somebody who's just giving their opinion, somebody who's an actually trained journalist who's skilled in fact finding, and of course our friends in print media. We always know there's that gap between the print folks who are like, we're the real journalists, you broadcast people are worried about makeup, but it's true. So print media, that matters as well. So even shout out to our print media folks on Substack and wherever else they're building. I just want to make that clear to your audiences.
Amen. 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 You get an amen.
I love what Tiffany was saying there, because I mean, just think about what we just need to take it.
Yeah, I do too. She hit a home run.
Don was arrested earlier this year. The Trump administration is bragging about kicking Joy and I off of the air, and yet we're still here. And Tiffany, you're still here. And Steve Schmidt, he's still here. And we're all collaborating in something new. The media landscape is shifting beneath our feet.
This is important.
And this is the beginning of what's next.
Yeah, I agree with that, actually.
The administration accountable. We can hold the president of the United States accountable just as well as the networks, or better than the networks, because we do it in this new space where we don't have executives breathing down our necks and saying, oh, you better
Yeah.
be careful. Don't, be careful talking about Donald Trump. Don and I both know this all too well. We didn't have to worry about that until Donald Trump came along.
Yeah.
And
But
so
you-
we
Yeah, I think that's an important
The thing
point.
about it is, though, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say that. Go ahead.
Listen, I want to actually highlight what he was saying. I 100% agree with both Tiffany Cross and Jim Acosta are saying, man. And I think that this is an important point in media, independent media. These all people were on, national political media. The 2 or 3 of them, probably all of them, have hosted or anchored multiple shows on broadcast media. So for the fact that they're creating their own lanes now and coming together and collaborating, I think is a very interesting thing. And I think that's going to assist in what we believe in over here, which is speaking truth to power, man. You know what I mean? And that's most definite. You know what I'm saying? Because power don't like the truth. Y'all got to believe that. Power don't like the truth, my nigga.
I think all of this has to be looked at as playing out on a continuum from the very first act on the first day of Trump's first presidency, where Sean Spicer goes out and he demands a type of obedience from the MAGA member. And that is to suspend belief that the smaller crowd size, because Trump says so, is suddenly bigger. And you have a president who is told not 100 lies, but scores of tens of thousands. He has assaulted objective reality. There is no debate that exists in reality about whether there's free and fair elections in the United States. There is. Donald Trump lost an election. He won 2 of them, to our great national shame, but he won narrowly. It's the cornerstone of our society, and we're under siege from all of these lies. And what Donald Trump understands is that the person sitting across from him that wants to get a merger done, that wants to get a deal done, that person in almost every instance will not do what Katharine Graham did a generation ago, which is stand up to power, which is what Don Lemon does, which is what Joy Reid does, which is what Jim Acosta does, what Tiffany Cross does. They won't do that. They'll capitulate. They'll get on their knees. ABC will write that check for an absurdist lawsuit. This entire sale with Paramount and CNN and all of it is a corrupt deal. All of it the fruit of a poisonous tree, the capitulation by Shari Redstone to a specious lawsuit. And over again, whether it's the top law firms, the big tech guys, they get on their knees. But the American people will not get on their knees. They will confront the abuses of power bearing down on them. And I think it's very important to understand something about democracy. It's what keeps us safe. The man who interrogated Adolf Eichmann for 275 hours, his name was Avner Less. 20 years after it, he was asked any takeaways from the experience. And he said, yes, gave me my full faith in democracy because there are Adolf Eichmanns everywhere. They're harmless in a democracy. They're latent. But in a dictatorship of the left or right, they turn deadly in an instant. And this is an administration filled with little Eichmanns, exercising their authority, abusing their power, making threats. But no matter what they do to threaten information, to threaten journalists, to threaten the news media, the water, as it does from the river, it will flow to the ocean. And the truth will flow out and the American people will see it. And no matter if it's covered or not, you're going to have millions of people on the streets today in all 50 states, in 1,000 communities, more even, saying no, not in our name. And that's powerful. And the truth.
Yeah, I agree with
and
that.
the lie
I agree with
in
that.
the public square have been engaged in a battle for 12 years' time. And we're in the middle hours of that fight. And
Here, let me clip Steve Smith real quick. I agree with what everyone is saying, and that's why we're watching this, because if you want good information, you got to listen to people that's going to give you good information. And all five of these people up here, even Steve Smith, who I don't always agree with his perspectives, but I think that they all are honest and will try to provide you good information. And that's what we all about over here at the Remix with Kelly Dre, man. So that's why we watching this, man. Hit that like button and subscribe to this channel, man. If you want to know the real, these people up here are going to tell you the real. That's just what it is.
From Gallup showing a majority of people favoring the war was the mainstream ubiquitous opinion about the war. And without the coverage of dissent, then dissent is happening in silence. And I think it's really important that independent media is here to allow people to see the dissent. But I think if you even go back to the coverage of the Iraq war,
support independent media.
there was a very
Support this show. Hit that Cash App. Subscribe to the channel, man.
I was working for NBC News, local at the time. They didn't want to cover the protests. When George W. Bush was reelected, there were massive protests, but most of the media zeroed in on him marching down the street in DC and made it look like there were no protests. You didn't really see the protests. You would have had to zoom out or turn to C-SPAN. And I think it's actually dangerous that we're seeing mainstream media refuse to cover the dissent because they don't want to upset the president of the United States. I think that in and of itself is dangerous. Without seeing the Tiananmen Square massacre, we wouldn't know there was dissent in China. Without seeing the red, the Red Spring, where you're seeing people actually be in the streets in these countries, you just wouldn't know that there was dissent. So I am concerned. We've seen now that apparently CNN did a 1 block segment and then they moved on to talk about the TSA. They do have a Happening Now banner that's up on screen, but they're not covering it robustly, at least not yet. And I'm going to keep monitoring it because I think unless the mainstream media acknowledges that there is dissent, it's going to be treated like internet gossip. It's going to be treated like something that's just for online people, and that it's not a generic, ubiquitous American sentiment that what this regime is doing is opposed.
Can I just jump in really quickly, Joy, because we really don't even have to go that far to foreign policy. So yes, certainly during Tiananmen Square, Kent State, the Arab Spring, all of these things, there was a narrative that the mainstream media had to present. But also, if you think about our own domestic policy, had America not seen what was happening when our ancestors crossed the Edmund Pettus Bridge, we would not have seen the change that we did. And so afraid were they to hear from the activist Mississippi Myectomy, Mississippi Democratic Freedom Party. You know who I'm talking about. I'm embarrassed to give her name. Anyway, when she was
Fannie Lou Hamer.
Fannie Lou Hamer. Thank you. Shame
Yes.
on me. When Fannie Lou Hamer was speaking, so afraid of her remarks that Lyndon B. Johnson, again, the victors get to script the narrative, but he did not want people to hear from her. So he
Get her off
ran.
screen.
Right, exactly. Sorry, Jim.
Jim, what are you
ahead.
saying?
Oh, no, I was just going to, I'm sorry, my God, I didn't know, I heard a pause, so I was going to jump in and say that this march is about to get going across the Frederick Douglass Bridge into downtown DC shortly. But the only thing I was going to add to what Joy was saying, which was absolutely brilliant, was that, they used to do it this way, the way Joy is talking about. The late Walter Cronkite, the great Walter Cronkite, it was Walter Cronkite who said during the Vietnam War that the Vietnam War could not be won. And so we had anchors with balls. We had newsmen and newswomen with balls and spines back in the day who would tell the people what they needed to hear. We don't have
Edward
that
R.
now.
Murrow.
Now we have an
That's
anchor
right.
of the CBS Evening News who says,
That's
we
right.
salute you, Marco Rubio.
That's right.
And that there were two sides to January 6th. So anyway.
And the reality
Is
is,
it-
Jim, they still have a
Sorry, so we'll bring it
majority
to
of Americans who get their news from mainstream sources. Will the audience at CBS, which is a dwindling audience, but it's an older audience that is a dedicated, mainly majority white audience, which means a majority Republican open audience, if you just do it demographically, right? But that mainstream audience, will they know that there's dissent, or will they be told by Barry Weiss's outfit that Trump is popular? I recall being in this business as for 8 years, I was told by the mainstream media, for which I also worked, that George W. Bush was an enormously popular president. It was a line written into almost every anchor's scripts. Meanwhile, his poll numbers were in the 40s. And when Barack Obama reached the 40s because of people's objection to Obamacare, we were told he was an enormously unpopular president with the same numbers. And so what the media still has the power to do is to shape narratives. And because we know, most of the journalists wake up in the morning, read Politico, and then all say the same thing that they see in Politico. Tomorrow, will we be told on mainstream media that essentially there was really not much dissent? There were a few scattered protests, and Bruce Springsteen performed in Minneapolis. That's what I'm concerned about.
There's a particular irony.
Shout out to Politico, Charles Coleman.
Hey, I'm gonna wait for them.
I'm trying to know.
Nah, there's a particular irony about this. If you look at the cycle of Donald Trump's foray into politics, in as much as in 2015, when he came down that escalator, it was actually mainstream media that had the decision to make as to whether they were going to legitimize some of the things that he was going to say or that he was saying. When he started talking about they're sending the rapists, they're sending their worst people, when he was making fun of the differently abled, it was mainstream media at that point that had an opportunity to say, we're not going to sort of legitimize this by sort of giving it the platform to breathe that they did. And ultimately, now that they find themselves in this
ratings, Charles, ratings.
Oh, absolutely. And I think Steve's point about the industry was one that I've made on this platform before, for people who don't understand where their industry is from a standpoint of consolidation, from a standpoint of shareholders wanting deals to go through, and from the standpoint of Trump obviously being unabashed about putting his thumb on the scale with respect to all of the deals that we've seen, not just with Paramount, not just with Comcast, not just with CBS, not just Viacom, but the entirety of how the changing industry and that business model has been transformed. I think it is very ironic now that the media is also, yet again, as Joy just said, in a position to shape narrative around the dissension to this administration and what they're doing.
Yeah, I agree with that. I actually agree with that. I agree with that a lot. Most definitely.
They have a decision to make. No, they have a decision to make. And I think it's actually really kind of important for us to follow and to cover what decision is made tonight.
Yeah, I agree with that. That link is in the chat as well. Anybody want to come up here and host this politics? Link is in the chat. Nope.
Is now that they call themselves
No King's protest going on today.
Minnesota. That is being covered. But I'm keeping my weather eye on our old industry because they still do have.
Rome Allen, salute, family. Salute.
They still have.
Appreciate you for tapping in, man. We on this No Kings protest today, man. Y'all know I got to bring y'all this real deal politics. We hearing from the streets
Can I
today,
call
man.
you a political historian type? I know that that's not your official title. But I know you're not Meacham, but you do something that's much more pointed. And but I want to know how you think history will look back on this time of the MAGA regime, the MAGA administration, its attacks on institutions, its attacks and dismantling of the media, the dismantling of the
Appreciate you, family. Definitely appreciate you, family.
Most important news program in the world, 60 Minutes, and the network on which that show aired.
John Kennedy talked about the High Court of History, and the High Court of History will judge MAGA and Donald Trump brutally. He's the worst president in American history. I don't have a doubt in my mind that 20 years from now, it will.
Listen, I'm gonna clip Steve Smith real quick because I want to jump in on some commentary real quick. Hey, this is the remix with Cali Dre. I appreciate y'all for tapping in with your boy, man. We covering these No Kings protests today, man. We on this protest shit today. Y'all know how y'all had to know I was gonna show up for this. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, we big chilling over here. Gas rolled up, you know what I'm saying? Drank pulled up, man. We trying to find out what's the pulse of the country, man. But I think these people right here have made valid points, right? As far as the media is concerned, as far as the direction that the national media is going, and the importance of independent media, man. Like my channel, support my channel. You know what I'm saying? Subscribe to my shit because we're gonna bring you that real. And I think all of these individuals up here have a lot of credibility. They've seen the game from the inside out. They were all, anchors or have anchored shows. And so they know what's going on in the boardroom and what the scripts is being written and what the narrative is, man. And so now many of them have been, now are in the outs with the national media. So, I think it's important to to highlight both sides, right? I pay attention to all sides. I pay attention to the national media. I pay attention to independent media. Then I kind of make my own decision about the things that I've seen. But I think these people are all credible, and I think they all have great perspective, man. So that's why we tapping into this, man. It's the remix with Kelly Dre. Let's get to this protest shit, man. You know what I mean?
Understand how it is that we got here, but how it is that we're going to have a reawakening in the country, and how it is that we're going to get out of this mess. An era of reform and renewal and a renewed patriotism that follows this Trump disaster.
I dropped that link in the chat as well, man. Anybody want to come up here and rock with you, boy? That link is in the chat.
Bunch of time talking about it to shape the narrative. But the reality is that the American people look at this, and 70% of them, almost 30% approval. His numbers are in a state of collapse. We are in the early hours of a war we are losing, and the economic shocks from that event have not yet hit American soil, but they will.
Yeah.
And so when we look at this,
Shit, I disagree with that. Hold up, Steve. I'm a clip Steve real quick. They damn sure done showed up on American soil. Gas prices in California is $17 a gallon right now. Man, let's not get it fucked up around here, man. Shit, let me fix my shit, man. Make sure my shit right. The gas prices is $37 a gallon in California right now, man. So we most definitely are feeling the effects. Most definitely, Steve. So I gotta disagree with Steve a little bit on that, but yeah, I fuck with Steve though. He keep it real.
I was so captivated by it, but just hearing you go through history and having the very wise counsel of, yeah, we got to talk about how we got here, but right now, like, let's talk about how we move forward. And I do see, I mean, you a longtime member of the Republican Party, but there were always Republican policies that were harmful. So while Donald Trump may be less articulate, he's still echoing some of these same sentiments. And so as I see people who voted for Trump not once but twice, who support some of his policies, but when they're hit at the gas tank and they say, oh, well, now I'm done with him. Or when something very specifically tailor-made harms them, and then they say, okay, I'm done with him. People say we have to welcome them because, you know, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, or, you know, it's a coalition building. And I'll be honest with you, Steve, that's not my ministry. I am not equipped to align with people who have always believed a certain thing. I think they may be more receptive to hear what you have to say. So I'm just curious from you, this rational person who I know who have been on air with so many times, what is the message that you say to those people who may still hold some of those racist beliefs, sexist beliefs, people who are anti-trans, but they want to come align on this side because something very specifically impacted them?
I think one thing that's important to understand is, like, at this moment when he's at a 30% approval, he can only lose another 4 points. His floor is at about 26%. And so trying to understand his cult, trying to rationalize it, trying to reach out to the lowest common denominator, I don't have a lot of interest in it as well. I think it's a huge mistake and I know you're not doing this, but to look at the Democratic Party as on the one side there's good, and then on the other there's bad.
Yeah, definitely.
I think the failures have been profound in both parties that led us to this moment. No society that doesn't have a lot of rot doesn't have a President Trump. And when I hear you talk about that person who said,
hit that like button, man. Subscribe to the channel.
I think you have to be open to that person, but you have to be open to that person, not on their terms, but on your terms. And at the end of the day, the thing that we have to all be for, that we can't compromise.
Yeah, I agree with that. I actually agree with that.
Is that we believe in the checks and balances. We believe in a president, not a dictator. We believe that elections have consequences, that we decide who leads, who has power, and that we believe in the freedom of speech, and we believe in the freedom of religion. And we believe in the separation of church and state.
Yeah.
And we believe in
No, I
these
like
things
this
without
answer.
compromise.
That's a
And
fact.
we're not going to negotiate them with,
That's a
with
fact.
Donald Trump. But I think that we have to be able to see disagreement in good faith without backing up from the central proposition that our whole cornerstone of our society, our civilization, is rooted in the idea that we're all equal. Endowed by
Yeah, I agree with that.
however you
I agree with that.
conceive of him or her or whatever,
Yeah.
with inalienable rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That is what is at stake. And
No,
that's
I
what
agree
we
with that.
have to
I
stand
actually agree
up,
with that.
and we have to be for. And when we look back on 20 years from now, when people say, wow, was it really that bad? Did it really seem like you weren't going to get through with that? And when you tell the story of how we got through it, the story of how we got through it is a story of patriotism where Americans put the most important identity that binds us together forward, which is an American identity. And you know, John Lewis talked about this. He said, doesn't matter what ship our ancestors came in, we're all in the same boat now. And all of our kids are going to be living together, including with the MAGA people, in 50 years. And what we got to make sure is for our descendants 50 years from now, that grandma and grandpa MAGA don't win this fight that we're in the middle of, that the American proposition endures in this fight. And I think that's what so many millions of people are out on the streets doing today.
Listen, man, I wanna pause it. I think Steve Smith hit a home run right there. I agree with everything he had to say. You know what I'm saying? And I think that, look, I think they're in agreement. Hold on, let me tap back in with them. I think they feeling it too.
As we thank Tiffany and let her go, I will just say to you, sis, I'm one of those people who says, I'm happy to pull up the life raft, but you're not getting in this life raft to put a gun to my head. You're going to get in this life
Yeah,
raft.
that's
and
a
you're gonna sit
fact.
in-
No, listen, I think they were applauding what Steve had to say, and I definitely applaud it because I think he's 1,000% right. You gotta, we can take in people, but it's got to be on our terms. It can't be on their terms. And I also agree what he said. It doesn't matter how our ancestors, what boat they got here on, what ship they got here on. We in the same boat now. We all in the same goddamn boat now with this Trump shit. All our gas prices is going up. All the food prices going up for everybody. So that's the part where in certain moments you got to band together just to stop the common problem. And then we could get back to the individual group squabbles that we have in this country just as Americans on a daily basis, man. There's nothing wrong with that. That's called democracy. You feel what I'm saying? But I 1,000% agree with what Steve Smith just said. It doesn't matter what ship our ancestors came on. We all in the same goddamn boat now. Gas is $10 a gallon out this bitch. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, what we gonna do? What the fuck y'all gonna do about this shit, man? That's the question. This is the remix with Kelly Dre, man. Subscribe to the channel. We on this No Kings protest today, man. Y'all know I had to pop out for this politics shit, man. People across the country turned up, and we want to hear what they talking about, man. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, roll your gas up, man. Tap in with your boy.
Folks who are on Twitch as well, twitch.tv/Don Lemon. And I'm going to mute myself and do a promo for the social media to get even more engagement up because we can in social media. So, Charles, you know what I'm talking about. Charles, you got some new lighting. I like it. You upped your game, my brother.
Listen, man, I'm trying to make sure that I'm ready for the independent media stage as much as I can be, like you enjoy. So, any tips?
Any tip? Well, the tip is to hang out with the right people, and that's what we try to do over here. Because the good Lord has brought us all together in the worst way possible through leaving mainstream media. But I think it's really important. I just want to note that what we're seeing on the right-hand side of the screen, as I'm looking at the screen, is we're starting to see the gatherings, and I believe this is in D.C. I don't know if we have Jim up anymore, but these gatherings are taking place. There are 3,100 that we know of taking place across the country, from red states to blue states, large towns to small, Atlanta to Minnesota, all over the country. And this is just, you're seeing the map there of just what we know of. And Indivisible is one of the groups pulling them together. MoveOn.org is also another entity pulling them together. We're seeing every organization, large and small, come together to try to scream a resounding no to fascism, to authoritarianism, to autocracy. And it is ironic that in the 250th year of America's birth, the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, we have to again fight the idea of having a king. It's probably the ultimate irony that you have literal monarchists claiming that they are the ones who are America first. I don't think there's anything Charles, more ironic than a monarchist, someone who believes that we should have a unitary executive, aka an American king, who can call SEAL Team 6 to kill his enemies with impunity, who can commit crimes, steal classified documents, enrich himself off of the presidency, bring in income to himself based on his public policy, maybe even bet on oil futures while launching a war against Iran, a country that did not threaten us or attack us. It's ironic, and I would love to have each of y'all comment on this, because I don't think there's anything more ironic than having to fight the idea of an American king against a party that calls itself America First when they're the ones attempting to prop Donald Trump up as an American monarch. I'll start with you, Charles.
Yeah, Joy, I appreciate that. I often talk about the fact that America's future is in the hands of the judiciary. And I continue to say that and will continue to say that, because from a policy and from a legal perspective, this is something that I very much so believe. And I think
Hold on, I'm gonna clip him real quick. I just want to say this, right? I just want to say this. If you want to get smart, man, you got to listen to smart people, right? If you want to be successful, you got to put yourself around successful people. And that's why, again, that's why we're paying attention to this, man, because all these people are very intelligent people. I may not agree with 1,000% of everything that they're talking about, but they all have great perspectives in the overall, compass of where our democracy is. And so that's why we watching this shit. You know what I'm saying? But if you want to get smart, you got to listen to smart people, man. You know what I mean?
they're being told, no, you're not able to do that. No, you are not able to do many of the things that you have tried to do, which is why this administration continues to take loss after loss after loss across the country, both on the civil side as well on the criminal side, because procedurally they're not doing what they need to do, and constitutionally they are running amok. And so I do think that in the 250th year of America, it does say a lot about the fact that the leadership of this country continues to fly in the face of what the country, at least on paper, was founded on. And the only check that has been viable, in my opinion, has been the people, which we're watching right now across the country, who have stood up and been courageous enough to say,
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Who's been able to look at that same law.
Yeah, and the judges ain't been playing. Hey, listen, that's a fact. I want to stop it right there. Hold on, let me mute Charles real quick. Hey, listen, the people are not fucking around, and the judges aren't fucking around. The judges ain't giving up their power. The Supreme Court's washed. But I'm talking about the lower court judges, the federal judges. They are not relinquishing their authority in this country without a fight. Donald Trump has lost many a court case. Now, what he's decided to do on that, some of it, I believe, is constitutional crisis level obstruction. But at the end of the day, I think Charles is 100% right. Like, in this country, we don't have no kings, man. The people have stood up for that, and I think the judiciary has stood up for that. All the rest of the systems and structures that we have in place to maintain this democracy and make sure that each one of us has a voice, has a vote, has an opportunity in this motherfucker, have kind of failed us. And I got to keep it real about that. But let's tap back in with this, man. Hit that like button.
Roberts believes in a monarchy. He's the one who delivered the ruling and the majority to say that Donald Trump has monarchical, uncheckable powers. He did that. So it seems to me that there are 5 monarchists at least on this court.
The immunity ruling, Joy, and and you're right to point that out, is perhaps one of the most dangerous rulings that we've seen as far as limits on presidential power in a lifetime. And I think that continues to be something that even now the Supreme Court partially regrets giving him that latitude. I think you're right to point that out about John Roberts. And again, I am not giving the Supreme Court any real modicum of credit here. What I am saying is that below them, there are a significant number of district court
No, he's right about that.
Appeals court judges
He's right.
who have done the right thing and continue to do
Yeah, he's right about that. The lower courts have helped save this country. That's a fact, bro. That's a fact.
The Supreme Court's shortcomings.
Supreme Court's failed us, but the lower court has most definitely helped to save this democracy, bro. That's a fact.
Of government putting any type of check on this administration.
We are looking on the right side of our screen. I think Don is still doing promos. And I think he might be
No,
back.
I'm
But
here.
Look at what so we've got Houston,
I'm here just
Don,
enjoying our program.
enjoying the program. So we got Washington, D.C. on the screen. You see it's thickening up, filling up. We can see Minneapolis there in the lower left. On Philadelphia, look at Philly.
They
Philly
left this
is
nigga
in
down now.
full
Nigga, join the
effect.
program,
On the
nigga.
lower right-hand
Step
side
up.
of your screen, you can see Houston, Texas, up in the upper right-hand corner. That's where ICE was doing the unpaid TSA people's jobs the other day at the airport. Don, this is a full-fledged a rollout for the American people. Let me just give you the update on what I was talking about earlier, Don. We've got Ms. Now. Ms. Now is covering these protests. Wonderful Alex Witt just spoke with Senator Tina Smith. And she's covering other cities as well. CNN is now covering the protests as of 1:30 p.m. ABC so far no coverage, covering 20 years
Listen.
of Hannah Montana in
Listen.
basketball, according to our
We covering more of the protest than the
PPJRS.
national media.
Fox, no coverage
We on
thus
top of this
far
shit
as
over
of
here at the
1:30.
remix
We're
with
doing
Cali Dre, man.
TSA
Support
coverage.
independent
We're talking
media,
about
man.
Tiger Woods DUI arrest. BBC, no coverage so far. They are still covering the Iran war mainly, and nothing yet. This will shock you, Don. Nothing yet on CBS. They are covering basketball.
Guys, I gotta jump. Don, I know you have a lot to say about that. I gotta jump. Always a pleasure to see everyone.
Thank you, Charles.
Thanks,
Thank
Charles.
you. Be well. No, I think it's pretty predictable. Look, for the first two, as we know, we were here all by our lonesome. And, imitation is the best form of flattery. So if they're out here covering it, then I hope that they bring light to it. But, as I said, we've been doing this for the last two No Kings, and now it's a third one. And today marks the third nationwide wave of No Kings demonstrations. Virtually every measure, it is the largest yet. There's more than 3,300 events that are planned all across all 50 states. Organizers are calling this potentially the largest day of domestic political protest in U.S. history. So today's protest is part of a series of demonstrations preceded by No Kings protest back in June that we covered. Then we covered it again in October, a general strike in Minnesota in January in response to this Operation Metro Surge, and then a larger nationwide strike on January 30th. So the flagship rally today is really in Minneapolis, St. Paul, that we're going to be watching. Minnesota's ground zero for all of this. So as you guys know,
Yeah, that's a fact. I think they have a lot of performances set up in Minnesota, bunch of speakers. So we're definitely gonna tap in with Minnesota as well once it get going.
Organizers participating in more than 100,000 people at that event alone.
Yeah, it's a Joan Baez. Had a chance to meet her yesterday at the First Amendment, the Committee for the First Amendment. Incredible protest. Me and Jim Acosta attended with the glorious Jane Fonda, who, by the way, looks amazing. But it was incredible. Oh, she was fantastic. But Joan Baez is somebody who has been at this, as has Jane Fonda, since the 1960s, Jim. And, did have a chance to have that conversation with her. We talked a little bit about this last night. And I asked her, is she mad at us? Is her generation irritated that they have to redo this? That's the generation that fought for civil rights. And here we are again, having to protest a needless war and having to do it all again. I'll throw it to you, Jim. And then I had that question for Steve as well, is whether you feel that the redo is an indignity to the country.
I mean, I think what we're seeing right now all across the country, Joy, Don, and Steve, I mean, this is what America is all about. And, what is happening today is...
Uh-oh, we lost Jim.
Uh-oh, am I back?
Now you're back. You're back.
Sorry.
Come on, Jim. Get your internet together, baby. What's going on?
Out here protesting and marching across the streets of your city or town, and government to go fly a kite. And one of the things that Donald Trump was talking about last night, I don't know if you guys saw this, he gave this speech where he was talking about how he likes to hang around losers. He said this. He was giving a speech and he said he likes to hang around losers because he wants the losers to look up to him and listen to his stories. He doesn't want to be around successful people because he doesn't want to hear those success stories. He wants to be around losers. And so the question is for J.D. Vance, for Marco Rubio, for Lindsey Graham, are you the losers that Donald Trump is talking about? When I look across the country today, guys,
I would say yes.
I see Joy, I see Don. I see people who are winning. We're winning in this world of independent media because we're bringing the truth to the American people. Joy's talking about the losers of the media who aren't going to cover this stuff. You tell you're not going to cover millions of Americans taking it to the streets on No King's Day because you're afraid of the dear leader? Is that what winners do? And so, I think that what today is
Yeah, that's what cowards do, in my
winning.
opinion.
It is the beginning of winning and taking back this country. And, Steve Schmidt is absolutely right when he talks about, what history has taught us, what generations of leaders have taught us before this moment that we're in the middle of right now. And I'm inspired by what is taking. I'm inspired what is happening in Minneapolis today. Think about what people have been talking about. The city of Minneapolis should win the Nobel Peace Prize. I think that is totally fitting, given what Minneapolis has been through. I mean, Don, you were
Yeah,
there.
listen, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that. Minneapolis definitely deserve a shout out. They from George Floyd to everything that's going on with this ICE incident. Yeah, Minnesota been going through a lot, man. Shout out to Minnesota, man.
I mean, this is the kind of effect, the impact that the struggle in Minneapolis is having on the American people. All of that says winning to me. That Americans, they know what winning is, they know what losers are, and they see one at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
Indeed.
The host of the Jack Cocciarella Show on YouTube and the brand new contributor to The Bulwark, Jack Cocciarella, joins us. Jack, you're in this fight.
Mick Jagger. Oh shit, they got my guy Mick Jagger up here, man. Hey, y'all. Hey, listen, if y'all watch my show, y'all see this guy all the time. My guy Mick, man.
I just watched the documentary 2 days ago, and it's funny how polite all of those guys are, how like pretend kind they are. Like they all say yes sir and yes ma'am, and like you go sit up straight and shake hands. They're all just such dicks though. It's funny the facade that they put on. That was my takeaway. I don't know. That's just like, that is something I've observed in life. I just feel like there's a lot of horrible people who play polite and then they're just disgusting and awful. I don't know if anyone else has watched the documentary, but that was my big takeaway. Besides, these guys are freaks and chuds, and Joe Rogan called them dorks. But Don, why are you lumping me into the manosphere? Last time you said I brought up Nick Fuentes, and now you're like, oh, Jack, are you in the manosphere? You're selling.
Well, I was just going to say you're sounding like a millennial Steve Schmidt there when you said these guys are just dicks, because that's the level of honesty that you bring. So Jack is with us, but Steve, I think George.
Yeah, and that's why we fuck with Mick Jagger, young Mick. You know what I'm saying? I call him young Mick Jagger.
The history, and I like you. I'm thinking a lot about this being the 250th. Anniversary of the country, and I wonder if you could also respond.
$1 Million Minds, what up, man? Hey, it's No King's Day, man. We on this No King's protest today. Y'all know how to pop out, man. Cover this politics shit. You know what I'm saying? Hey, protest pop out. We out this bitch, man. That's what we on today, man. I might jump on later and do some of the regular shit. Right now today, man, we finna see what the people talking about. That's what we doing, man. We tapping in with the people today, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, man.
When you ask that question, Joy, first off, it's great to be with you. I think about Franklin Roosevelt, and I think about the speech he gave to Democrats in 1936.
Yeah, that link is in the chat as well, man. Y'all want to come co-host this, man? That link is in the chat.
And two of them, I think, are apt for everybody who's our age, who's Generation X, that in our 20s was told that history was over. It had reached its zenith, its endpoint. Democracy was triumphant, and that we stood at the precipice of peace for a time and all times in an age of unlimited prosperity ahead. And it didn't turn out to be like
Salute, fam. Salute. Appreciate you for rocking, man. Y'all, that link is in the chat, man. Y'all want to come up and drop an opinion? Yeah, you know I mean, this is unscripted podcast we doing today, man. We just watching these protests and getting a bunch of game on how the country feel, man.
And he said of that generation, which we remember as the greatest, that they had a rendezvous with destiny, and they did. And I think this generation does as well. And in that speech, he talked about that we had a king and we got rid of the king, and we had political liberty. But because of the inventive genius of mankind and the ambition of men to become kings, there are new empires, new monarchists who have risen up. And they were defeated by Roosevelt in his day. But now we have Musk, and we have Bezos, and we have Zuckerberg, and we have a new king, and all of his economic royalists and monarchists who want to rule by decree, not at our decisions. And so at the end of the day, this is a perpetual cycle that there will always be an accumulation of power in
Yeah,
too few
that's a fact.
hands.
That's a
And the
fact.
American system of government, its inventive genius allows us to smash it. And that's what we have to do. The focus of politics, all of the issues that we've debated to the point of irrelevancy and staleness, that era is over. The issues ahead are fundamentally going to be about breaking up great consolidations of power amongst the media barons, against the tech barons, the agricultural barons, the business barons, the dukes, and the viscounts of our new age. And that's what politics in a populist era that the Democrats have to find their way to, that's what it's going to look like. And so FDR had the problem, we have the problem, and we have to deal with it as a country because it's a very significant one.
Yeah, I agree with that. I actually agree with
The
that.
Habituation Room is here. I love that name. The Habituation Room podcast and a contributor to Zateo.
Hi.
Jessica Fiorentini joins us as well. Welcome. You're here with Steve Schmidt, Joy Reid, of course.
Hello.
Jack Cocciarella.
Hello.
Jack is already getting us in trouble, probably getting us demonetized by demonizing people. And
Jack's just sitting there. I love that you're
profanity.
just picking on it.
He's literally doing nothing wrong and
Thrown
just
under the
getting
bus
catching
instantly.
strays.
Thrown.
Don,
So
you asked
Jack,
me if I was in the
seriously,
manosphere. You said, Jack,
the
are you
reason
and
I was
Andrew
asking
That
Tate
was
the
the
same
opening
guy?
question. Is he in the manosphere, Don? I love you, Don,
I
but I'm gonna
don't-
have to take up for Jack
So
on this
rude.
one.
But there's
Rude.
a method to my madness. I was asking what he's hearing out there in the zeitgeist because there are a lot of folks in the manosphere who are all of a sudden having buyer's remorse. And as are,
Fair.
I have to be honest with you, some of our Latino brothers and sisters who are, I saw this report in the New York Times in the Rio Grande, where they were, most of them switched over to vote for Donald Trump. And now they're losing their businesses. They're going bankrupt, and they're saying they didn't think that it was going to happen to them.
Leopard
So
face.
it's just it's surprising to me that these people didn't know this was going to happen when he's doing pretty much everything he said he was going to do, and a lot of what he said he wasn't going to do, like forever wars and bring the price of things down. None of that is happening. Gas is up. So, what are you hearing out there? Jack Cocciarella, that's
Oh,
for
that's
you.
me. Okay,
Cat
I'm
got your
sorry.
tongue?
Yeah, a little
Let me
bit.
know when you see
I
them.
thought maybe you had
see
some
them.
buyer's
He was
remorse
still
and you
stunned
were.
by the rudeness. Yeah, I don't think
know
he was
we were
over it.
Francisco. Well, I saw some interesting polling developments that the dissatisfied generation, that is my generation, Gen Z, is incredibly dissatisfied with Donald Trump and his presidency right now. We saw a swing of Trump sitting at about November 2024, -1 approval with 18 to 29, and that's gone to -51 points on Donald Trump's approval. But we are in or at least my generation is one of great just general dissatisfaction that can happen quite quickly. And I think that's why when we talk about what our response has to be, it can't be, bemoaning the institutions or the fact that Chuck Schumer didn't get to, sign some paperwork for an illegal war. But instead that we create big structural change that does not bring us to these places again. And that instead of being heartbroken for the institutions, we actually care for the people who are hurting. Because if not, we will just be switching back party control every 2 and 4 years. If we just allow Democratic leadership to continue to fail us, everyone will continue to fail. And I think that we have a unique moment. I think the three of us, Francesca, Joy, we're all going to be at the Choose Your Fighter rally later tonight with the Progressive Victory Fund. And I think right now is a moment for leaders who want something different. Because if we don't, everyone will just continue to be dissatisfied. But that is all to say, young people are pissed and they are looking for someone to cultivate that anger. They could just happily sit with it and stew. Or someone could do something about it to energize them. I think there's always been a belief that all young people will organize ourselves. And I was, really hoping that would happen. It's not gonna. We need someone to excite us. Like, we're a generation of people that can't call to make our own doctor's appointments. So don't expect us to organize independently all the time. There are a lot of us who will. No, but there's a lot of us who will, but you got to give us a reason to show up. Okay. Some of us are scared to call the dentist.
I want to ask Jim or sorry, Francesca, Jim or Steve. I want to hear from some of the protesters who are out there. If you guys, if there's someone around you guys, we'd love to hear from some of them.
I want to. Can I just piggyback on Jack, what Jack was saying really quick, and also what Joy and Reed was saying. You know, Joy, I appreciate the question. Look, I came of political consciousness when I was 17 and George W. Bush stole an election. And so when I moved to New York in 2001 to go to NYU, what happened in September of 2001? Yes. 9/11 and the ensuing war on terror. It changed my life. It made me a lifelong anti-war activist. And so, you know what? All these years later, I have a 3-year-old, and no, I'm pissed that we have to go back into the streets and fight against yet another war in the Middle East. And I think Jack put it really well. A lot of this also has to do with Democratic leadership and their fecklessness.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
30 years now. 20 years to basically change the narrative around forever wars, around U.S. militarism. And yet every single time, whether it's Nancy Pelosi, whether it's Hakeem Jeffries, our leadership constantly sort of, they, for lack of a better term, pussyfoot around when it comes to should we be moving money out of this bloated military into things that actually keep us safe, like having healthcare, like having a roof over your head, right? Like having access, not even access, guarantee of an education. These are the things that actually keep us safe in this country. We have a massive national priorities problem, and we've had it for decades. And so it's on Democratic leadership to show the vision. Because Don, to your point, I think a lot of voters who voted for Trump in 2024, they were like, look, I don't like the guy and I think he lies, but there's some sort of vision. He's at least naming a pain. Whereas I feel like people felt like the sort of endless fake positivity of the Harris campaign was not even tapping into what they were actually feeling and the pain they were going through. And last thought, Jack, you mentioned young people. Look, man, young people been showing up. They showed up in Occupy Wall Street, okay? If you want to go back to my era, we showed up in the anti-war movement. We showed up in Occupy Wall Street. We showed up for the March for Our Lives to stop this endless gun violence. We've shown up for against genocide. We've shown up against genocide. And of course, we cannot forget how we showed up and showed out for Black lives and saying, stop murdering people in the streets. We need massive police and criminal justice reform. And what happened? Where's the change? What did Democrats deliver?
Again and again.
So this is the thing. Young people have shown up. We've done our part. They have done their part. We need to be met halfway. Because the movement
I
is
agree
there.
with
The
that.
anger,
I agree with that.
The organizing, it's there. But
Somebody's got to step up and be a leader in this country, man,
no, little child. You don't
and help
understand.
the
We
people
can't
get to the
protect you from
next level.
that. Or what are we, politicians? Are we leaders in this country? So that's what I would say to the idea that the youth are not active. I think they are, but I think they're cynical.
Yeah, and I mean that is a generational problem that's gone on since Vietnam. Young people protested Vietnam, they kept bombing, and then added Cambodia. Young people, I am from the anti-George W. Bush war generation as well, because I was sternly against that war on Iraq.
Y'all are
They did
young.
it anyway, and they expanded it. And the problem is we can't make them stop doing these wars. And the parties, both of them, neither of them are listening. They're not listening on genocide. They're just not listening. I think that is very true. That's not just one side. Can we look at what's going on there? Jim Acosta looks like he's got an adorable guest there.
I've got a couple of adorable guests, mother and daughter right here. Is that right? And this young lady right here is holding a sign that says the Holocaust started with mass deportations. And, that is something, guys, that I've been seeing all day long. Is people are
That's a fact. That's a fact. The Holocaust did start with mass deportations. That is a fact.
Country, and sorry for using that language in front of you. You're a young lady, but I imagine that's how you guys feel. That this is something that you're very, very much passionate about. Very passionate about. Yeah, and I'm rise up, rise against. They're saying. And but seriously, this is what we've been seeing all day long down here in Washington, D.C. is that I see people talking about the Epstein files. I see people talking about mass deportations and even little Liam. Everybody's talking about little Liam today. Guys, it struck such a chord all over the country what this administration has done to little kids, putting them in detention camps, families in detention camps. It's not who we are as a country. And I'm sure you guys hear this from time to time. I get the comment on my show from some of the people in the comments. They'll say, well, it is who we are now. And I push back on that. And I say, no, you can think that that's where we are right now as a country, but that doesn't have to be who we are permanently as a country. And that's why you have events like No Kings. So we don't have mass
Yeah, I agree with that.
deportations
I actually agree with that.
things that we've seen in our history as a people.
Jim, I would say for the moment, though, that is who we are. It doesn't have to be permanently, but I do believe that's.
Thank you.
I mean, it's happening. It is happening, and
No, I think both can be true. I think that's where we can be in as a country. But I think, as Jim is saying, you got to always push back on that. You got to always resist, and I think that's what this No Kings protest is all about. It's a lot of people that's not happy with who we are as a country, and so that's. I think both can be true, but always, we got to always be pushing to be better and more progressive and more, inclusive and just more a better country, man. You know what I'm saying? For everybody.
Outro.
Well, the crowd is starting to fill in here next to the Pacific Ocean in Santa Monica. And what I just
Can you show
say-
us around, Steve? Is there any way you can move your
Can you
camera? Or
spin?
no, just so we can see. Can
show
you do
the
us a little
camera
spin?
around? They want you to show the camera around.
There we go.
Oh, yay! That's great, Steve. Go ahead.
Getting a lot of people.
Okay,
are
Santa
starting to
Monica.
fill in now here in Santa Monica, and there's a lot more walking coming into the area. We got police helicopters. We got mounted policemen on the horses. Santa Monica police smiling, friendly in their disposition to everybody. A lot of very funny signs, but there's about 200 some on days until the midterm elections. And this is part of exercising the muscles for that choice. And we're going to see more protests over the spring, over the course of the summer. We have the desecrative event, this mixed martial arts match on the White House lawn on June the 19th, Trump's birthday. It's also Flag Day. It's also the anniversary of George Washington taking command of the Continental Army 251 years ago. So as we move now closer to this momentous anniversary, John Adams and all of the founding fathers, I think, are looking down and they're cheering for us. They understand that
That's right.
we won't have a big celebration this year, that we're going to have acts of defiance in this country, that we won't submit to this, we won't bow down to it. And when you look out today, it's just a reminder that our politics today isn't divided by progressive versus centrist. It's divided not by right versus left, but by right versus wrong. And we have a
Yeah, I actually agree with that too.
for the
I agree with that too.
ahead of us. And when you see 1 million people, 3,100 places all over the country with people coming out and saying no more, enough, that's a powerful thing.
Steve Schmidt.
Listen, listen. Steve Smith, he dropping some strong commentary, man. I agree with that as well, man. It's not even necessarily a battle of right versus left, man. I mean, I disagree with right-leaning politics just because I disagree with their ideology. But in this moment, it's right versus wrong for the most part. For me, like it's right versus wrong. Are we doing for the people? Or are you doing for your own pockets? You know what I'm saying? That's it. You know what I mean? That's it. Are you gonna keep it real with the people, or you know what I'm saying? Are you gonna be trying to scheme and spin and do a bunch of underhanded shit that's not gonna benefit the people? Because I'm a part of the people. I want mine too, and we ain't going for that shit. So that's why we covering this, man. That's why these No Kings protests are important, and I'm gonna make sure I tap in with it and do my part to try to break it down so people can understand the importance of it. Hit that like button, man, and subscribe to the channel.
Every single bit, it's on. I'm not doing this because I make money off of it. I don't, but it happens to be on my website. If you go to donlemon.com and you go to the merch store, it is all of this goes to the Committee to Protect Journalists. And this is We Will Not Be Silenced. We stand with independent journalists, the Don Lemon Show, and so does the Jim Acosta Show and the Joy Reid Show, and Jack Contarella Show and the Waiting Room with Francesca Fiorentini as well. Francesca, this is a really, really critical time for journalists in this country and journalism in this country.
I mean, indeed. And I think this is why, you know, I'm so glad that you're here, that Joy Reid is here, that Jim's here. Like, I mean, you know, we've watched you for so many years and respected your work. And the fact that you couldn't, you know, be kept quiet, or that you didn't sort of like, you know, disappear and say, all right, I'm done with, you know, media and journalism. You're still trucking. That is a really good sign to those of us who never actually, I mean, I had like a small toe in MSNBC, but a little pinky toe. But, you know, I feel like you all were in, I mean, I don't, you don't like to be, maybe you don't like this framing, but sort of a canary in the coal mine. Like, if you can't handle Joy Reid, if you can't handle Don Lemon, if you feel like if these institutions, and you guys, I'm sure, have untold stories of the things that, and the hoops that you went through, and the things that, you know, you got axed at the last minute, and, you know, push and pull with your executives. And even then,
Hit that like button.
sexually exploited.
Nah, I don't got no kids playing Roblox. I'm sorry. If you do though, call that
Shot
number.
across the bow. And so the fact that you guys are still in it, for younger folks like us and independent journalists, it really actually means a lot, because it means like, oh no, y'all aren't just gonna like disappear and like be like, you know what, I'm gonna, work on interior decoration or whatever it is, even though we all might want to. But like, that I think is great. And I do think I do think there will be money, and there will be a time when we come roaring back, when we have alternative mechanisms to get our message out. I mean, look, I'm so grateful that we're like on YouTube and we've got, you know, however, 12, 15,000 people, you know, watching. But, you know, like a lot of these big tech companies are not our friends. And at some point, we're also going to have to be honest about breaking them up, and making sure that they're held accountable for also some of what they are doing in terms of censorship, in terms of anti-monopolistic practices and all that.
Joy, I want to bring in someone that you may be familiar with, and because she works for the Joy Reid Show. Is Ms. Khan on? It's Nina Khan, right?
Yes, Nitha Khan is one of our fabulous producers at the Joy Reid Show. She is at the Central Park, New York City protest. Nitha, how are you? Tell us what you're seeing.
Hi, Joy. It's a little hard to hear you, but I'm going to walk around. So I'm in Columbus Circle right now, and I'll pan a little bit so you can see. People have already started marching down. It looks like they're going down Broadway and then heading towards 7th, I believe, and then making their way towards Times Square. And over here at Columbus Circle, it was completely packed just a short minute
Can't
ago.
hear you. Get your mic, get that mic closer up so we can hear you. There you go. Hold up.
Okay,
there you
can
go.
you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah,
we got you.
yeah. When they say eat that mic, put it as close to your mouth as possible.
Actually from Louisville, Kentucky. Okay, so she's from Louisville, Kentucky, and came back here on vacation. Is that correct?
Yes, to hang out in New York for 10 days.
And decided to attend the No Kings protest. And tell us why, sir.
Well, no matter where I was in the world, I was going to be attending No Kings. I am so sick of the most idiotic, incompetent, hateful, rude, foul people having power over all of us. We are way more powerful together, and it stops now. I'm so absolutely fed up.
And does coming out here make you feel inspired to be with other people that feel the same way that you do, that are doing something, that are fighting back, that are pushing back?
Absolutely. Being together collectively in this moment, I think really matters. The feeling that we all are sick of it. We put up with enough of this absolute nonsense. I could point at any random person here and I think they'd be a better president right now. We're sick of it. It makes me feel so comforted to know that there are millions all over the US and all over the world who feel the way I do, and who just want a saner, kinder world where we can all live together.
It was very well
Hey,
said.
Nina,
Thank you
can
so
you
much,
ask a
Cynthia.
question for me, please?
And
Can
she
you
just
ask her
so
a question for
eloquently
me?
put. I'm sorry, say that again.
Oh, you let her go. I was going to say I had a question for her, but go ahead. You already let her go.
Oh, no, I think my audio, I'm having difficulty hearing you guys. I apologize. But I'll just continue to walk around and see if you can get some of this at Columbus Circle and maybe grab some other people as well.
And we'll check back in with you later, Nitha. I don't think she can really hear you, Don, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna type her a message in her text. I'm gonna text her. Like, this is me like, I'm gonna type her a message in her text messages. That's all I'm doing. I'm gonna text her and I'm gonna ask her, tell me what you wanted her to find out. And I'm gonna text her that
Well,
right now.
I mean, she said she wanted a kinder, gentler nation, basically, is what she was saying, right? But what I wanted to know was, is there any one thing that was driving her, that was motivating her to come out today? Is it the war? Is it gas prices? Is it the Epstein files? Or is it all of it collectively? But I want to know, basically, what's the number one thing for her? Like, for me now, it's obviously the First Amendment and freedom of the press, right?
Yes.
So I'm wondering what are people's main motivations?
I just texted her that question. Nitha, to check your phone. Look at your phone.
I want to just say that I think she put it so well. And it's the reason why I'm like, oh, we got to stay and fight in this country. Like, we can't back down, because the fact that we are being ruled by such idiotic a-holes who are cruel and stupid at the same time. And I think maybe it was Steve or Jim brought up earlier that Trump said that he likes to surround himself with idiots and morons because he doesn't want, and losers. He says losers. He wants losers around him because he doesn't want to feel like he's being outshone or overshadowed by their accomplishments, which is such an insane thing for a person, especially the president of the United States, to say. And to me, that's where it comes down to. It's like, if there's any reason to get out to the streets today, it's that you could run this country better. You with more moral center, more heart, more, more accountability. And when you don't know what you're doing, you have the decency and the humility to say, I need some help. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to bring some experts in. What about that? And so this is why we have to fight, because we cannot forfeit this country to such buffoons, because they're really, they're trying to have it all.
Yeah. Did you say chud, Jack? Did you say chud?
Yeah.
They are chuds.
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect description of it.
Word of the day.
I wonder if Wajahat Ali can top that that chud language. I want to bring in Wajahat Ali now. Wajahat, introduce you. Wajahat Ali is just the man about town, man about social media,
man about
the
Substack,
who says it like it is, the man about Substack. Wajahat, what's your Substack again?
The Left Hook, because I'm left-handed. Yes. Again, according to Muslims.
Do you have another word for them besides chuds?
I mean, chud is fantastic. I'm just going to go with the Game of Thrones reference. Reeks. They're reeks. They live permanently within Donald Trump's anus, thinking that there's wealth and comfort, digging upward for crypto and gold, and finding nothing but cankles and cysts.
Ooh. Cysts. That was a weird. More like roids. I'm gonna workshop that.
Jim, go ahead.
I think Reek had his sexual organs removed. Isn't that also the case with?
It's very fitting.
Reek was castrated, flayed, mocked, and ridiculed.
Yes.
And furthermore, look, if you want to see a Reek, look at Marco Rubio. I look at Marco Rubio like the Latino doing 14 jobs.
The Latino soon to be president of Cuba.
President and Prime Minister, and also Secretary of State of Cuba.
But to your point, Don, what Francesca was saying, I mean, in all seriousness, he's the Secretary of State, right? You know who's doing his job? Jared Kushner and Stephen Witkoff. Jared Kushner literally has no appointment. Jared Kushner bypassed security clearance. Jared Kushner is the big story that people have all forgotten. Is last month there was a story that said that Tulsi Gabbard and Susie Wiles have sat on a national security warning about one of the people close to Donald Trump who's compromised by foreign intelligence. A follow-up report said that that's Jared Kushner. No one followed up on that. Jared Kushner has no security clearance. He's doing the job of Marco Rubio, negotiating with Russia, negotiating with Iran, negotiating with Israel, and meanwhile, getting billions of dollars of investments from these countries, the Witkoffs and the Kushners. So in addition to incompetence, to what Francesca was saying, these people are the most corrupt mother effers on earth. And anyone who's watching right now, the fact that we're being led into this disastrous war, led into inflation, led into a recession, the fact that life expectancy in America, Joy, has gone down, measles has gone up. Anyone watching right now, if you sit there and you go, who am I? I'm nobody. I can't run for office. these mother effers are in office. We can literally replace them and you will do a better job.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, anyone
Yeah.
could, right? I mean, we could go get your average 10th grader and they would run the country better. And Watch, I think you make an excellent point, but I wonder to what extent that kind of corruption actually breaks through. You know, and I'll ask you that, but I also want to ask Jack that, because young men are the currency with which the far right and MAGA pays for its continued occupation of our country. They go through young men who are, if you look at the polling, the most discontent, the sort of most, separated from society, the most ideologically isolated, and they are isolated. I mean, Don makes the joke about the manosphere, but I mean, I'll flip it and start with you first, but are those kind of messages breaking through, or do young men, are they even paying attention to Jared Kushner's grifting, et cetera, and Marco Rubio's foolishness?
I think they're breaking through in the view of this as a broken system and not just individuals. You know, there's a great man theory of history of which, special individuals are able to change the course of time. And I think we flipped that in our current era of politics. We really have to dumb everything down to the bad man theory, where it's all just Donald Trump's fault. Or the example that I've been talking about a lot on my show, where you see, Democrats couch their kind of halfway criticisms of the Israeli government in just, oh, well, if we could just get rid of Benjamin Netanyahu. And that's not true. We have a parasitic relationship with the Israeli government. It is fundamentally broken. It is an apartheid state carrying out a genocide, and getting rid of one bad guy isn't going to change that. The same thing is true of Donald Trump. If you just talk about Trump, you are not talking about the systems that put him in place. And I think when people just attack
that's
one
true.
guy,
That's
it
definitely
starts to
true.
fall on deaf ears, because people see Donald Trump, at least in my generation, as more of a buffoon than ever, as a joke. It's just like, what is going on here? But they don't feel it in their everyday lives. I think what they feel is a system that is broken because our social media companies exist to extract enough attention out of us to, do 5% year over year, week over week growth, that their enemy is like whether or not we're sleeping. And so they want to isolate us. They want to make our lives worse. People see broken systems. And so when we chalk it all up to like, oh, there's these guys, it doesn't land as much as talking about an Epstein class, these social media behemoths that are in shitifying our world to make us more isolated, a broken foreign policy that continues to get us into forever wars for the Israeli government or for the Epstein class. And there's a bit of crossover there, you could certainly say. And I think that's the better message than just saying, not to say that I won't have a lot of fun talking about Jared Kushner, a guy who got $2 billion under the stipulation that he wasn't allowed to touch it because he's too stupid, yet we're supposed to believe that the Saudis thought he was a genius and say, let's buy into Jared's fund. Yes, I think we should be talking about those guys, but I think it's a failure of communication imagination when we don't try to talk about the systems, because it is the systems. Getting rid of Trump is important, but it is a step. It is not the whole deal. And I think when we don't say that, we're not making a case that really resonates with people.
Yeah. Francesca, go for it. I think you're jumping in. I think you're muted. No, you're not. Go.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
yeah.
I gotta jump in a little bit because I'm gonna go help host the rally here in downtown Los Angeles at 2. So everyone come out to that. I also think men are fragile. So every time you point out how they've been like duped and how they like young men have like more reactionary views about, gender roles than boomers do, they sort of retreat and they're like, no. And so, there is something I think strategic about, and I also think like people of color throughout the decades understand this about white people as well. Like when you call them on their shit, they get really, really defensive. So we have to put forward, for good and bad, universal program, universal visionary ideas that include everyone, but also can, not flinch at saying we are an anti-racist, multi-ethnic movement like that, and we are feminists like that. That should just be sort of like easy to roll off the tongue. We don't throw anyone under the bus. We don't believe trans athletes, the one trans athlete, should be barred from competing, right? These are the things we can say, but I think what happens is the Democratic Party, sadly, because they are afraid to go after the 1%, the corporate class, they sort of rest on very lazy identity politics, is what I call it, rather than true intersectional identity politics that actually takes aim at that 1% and the rich. I have to go, but thank you guys so much.
Thank you,
please,
Francesca.
if you guys
Thank
want to
you,
follow
Francesca.
me, Bitchuation Room is my podcast. At Franny Fio, FRANIFIO. Bye.
I'm subscribing just based on the name. Is that,
I love
is that
that name.
shallow? I don't think that
Yeah.
might be shallow, but I think I'm going to do that. You're fantastic,
Yeah.
Francesca. But speaking of
That's
making
okay.
people uncomfortable, Wajahat Ali, obviously, I feel like you and I do it kind of for a living. It's like our side gig. Everybody has to have a side gig.
Jack's got to run too.
Jack's got to run too. Oh, Jack, thank you very much, man.
See
We
ya.
appreciate
But
you.
can
Look
I
out
bring
for
in
those
someone,
cuts.
please?
Please,
Thank
do,
you,
do,
Jack.
do.
Thank you,
Yes, go
Francesca.
for it, go
I
for
want to
it.
bring in now Mr. Rashad Robinson. Rashad is here. He's an American civil rights leader and the former president of Color of Change. Hello, sir. Thank you for joining us. How are you?
It's good to see you. Yes.
Hey, Rashad.
Yeah. And any thoughts on this day?
Well, I think
It's all over the world, Rashad.
yes. Yeah. Well, I know so many of the people that are behind.
Yeah, we're gonna wind it down here in a minute too, man. I just wanted to tap in and get some quick politics in today, man. Cover these No Kings protests, man, because that's what we're talking about, man. Hey, speaking truth to power over here. So y'all know I had to get in on this, man. But yeah, I'm gonna wind it down, and then I'm gonna come back with a different move. You know what I'm saying? After I wind this politics segment down, so y'all stay tuned, man. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for rocking, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. We got more content on the way.
Hard work, and if you've never done it, like it can look like these things sort of magically happen because people are outraged, but there is a choreography behind it, and these moments are important for people to see each other, to see themselves, to feel like they're not alone, and it's one piece of the sort of broader set of actions that we have to take in this moment.
Isn't there a delicate dance, though, because the one thing that I found that I liked about the first two, especially, is that they felt grassroots, right? And that organic. So yes, it is coordinated. So how do you do that? You pull that off where it doesn't seem too corporate, too patting selves on the back, too curated, you know what I mean? Part of it is the messy sort of nature of it, so to speak, the organic nature that I did like about the first two, but I'm sure you guys took that into account. How do you pull that off, Rashad?
Well, at a certain point, you've got to capture names. You've got to plug those names into a system so that it overlays with the voter file. That we then know who's not voted in the last election and who is going to vote in the last election. That we can hopefully push back against some of the political consultants that want us to spend all of the electoral money on ads on TV that nobody watches, and we can start shifting some of the ways in which we do this work. And so there does need to be systems, but I feel you on that. I watch some of the cities.
They said it. What up with you? What up? What up?
About sort of who they're putting.
Yeah, we just rocking this. We rocking this No Kings protest today, man. I'm gonna cover this for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know I had to jump out here for this politics shit, but I appreciate you for tapping in. They said it. You feel me? Yeah. Yeah, y'all know I had to jump in on this politics, man. Y'all know. So yeah, that's what we doing, man. You know what I mean? But I appreciate you for rocking. Let's get back to this little commentary, man, and check out what the people talking about, man.
You're on the front page of the paper and people are on your side is one thing, but power is the ability to change the rules, and that requires what I talk about is infrastructure. It requires strategy, and I do know that the people that are doing this are focused every single day about trying to translate this energy into something real.
Wajahat, that's really important. He's right. We like that organic people show up, rah, rah, rah. You can have as many No King protests as you want.
I agree with that, man. You can have as many No King protests as you want, right? But is this going to translate into some real action that's going to shift the levers of power? Is it going to translate at the voting booth? Is it going to translate, you know what I'm saying, with bringing the prices down? So these is all things like you got to make this shit it's got to be transferable. You know what I mean? That's the way I look at it. got to have these protests. All these people that sitting out here protesting have to go and make their voices heard at the ballot box. And that's when we can start to see real change, man. But this is the remix with Kelly Drake, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking with your boy. Y'all know I had to jump out on this politics shit. We got No Kings protests going on, protests all across the motherfucking country, man. So I'm gonna be a part of this shit for sure. You know what I mean? Hit that like button, man. Subscribe to the channel. You feel me? Let's get back in on this.
City council, you go for the school boards, you organize, you have a list of demands of people running for governor in the state of California, for example, or these special elections. You say, all right, Democrats, are you going to be taking money from AI and crypto? I think we could do better. Okay, Democrats, are you going to take money from AIPAC and support a genocide? We could do better. Okay, Democrats, are you going to sit there and be completely complicit with a fascist agenda? I think we could do better. There's 6 months. There are 6 months left, folks. I think this is key thing. We have 6 months during the primary season. And I don't know about you all, but I'm done with the vote blue no matter who and put your head in the sand. I think people are done. Piggybacking off of Jack's point, right? There's a need for a systemic change, a transformation. And I think this is what's been missing, Don and Joy, for the last 10 years, right? People don't want restoration. They want transformation. Right. They want economic transformation.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a motherfucking fact. Listen, I'm going to jump in on that. I need economic transformation around this motherfucker. Man, let me put myself back on the motherfucking screen. I need economic transformation around this motherfucker, man. Yeah, I do. Yeah, let me fix my hat around so the people understand how serious and how real this is. I need my motherfucking reparations. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm going to throw it out there. I needs my reparation. Period. Point blank. So, like I said, we had an interesting discussion on Skull's show last night. Shout out to Just Say No to Skull. You know what I'm saying? Delivering dope content night after night, man. Go subscribe to his channel. But we had a dope conversation going in the chat as Skull was doing his one too. But he was asking, should white boys be able to say the N-word, basically? And my response to that was, when we get our reparations, they can say whatever the fuck they want till the cows come home. I don't give a fuck. I need my reparations. And you can say whatever the fuck you want. Don't blame no rap song. Don't blame no subliminal messages. I don't give a fuck. I'm selling you a rap song for $1. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you choose to go repeat that in the neighborhood, whatever happened to you is what happened to you. But I'm not condoning anything just because I sell you some shit. Like, that's just where I'm at with it. So I need my reparations. When we get reparations, I don't give a fuck what these motherfuckers say or do. You feel what I'm talking about? I need my 40 acres and my motherfucking mule, man. That's just what it is. People think this stuff is a game. Yeah, that's right. And they said it. They think it's a game. You know what I mean? And that is why I try to pay attention to politics, so that I can break it down for people who may not have a deep connection to it or may not pay attention to it every day, because it can get overwhelming. But I also think that people think it doesn't affect them. I hear all the time, what the president do don't affect me. What the governor do don't affect me. Nah, it actually does. You know what I'm saying? On a couple of different levels, right? It can affect you legislatively and how you able to move and your rights and your privileges, but it can also affect the people around you. And what we see with this MAGA cult running to the January 6th and doing all kind of reckless shit out here, you know what I'm saying? That can affect you too if it's going on in your neighborhood. If your next door neighbor is a diehard MAGA supporter and he's believing the spin and the lies, shit, he might want to get to you one day. So people got to think bigger, man. You got to use your brain, man, and stop use your head for more than a hat rack. That's what the homie Pops used to always say. Use your head for more than a goddamn hat rack. You know what I'm saying? Use your brain, man. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for rocking, man. Let's tap in with a little bit more of this commentary, man.
Sometimes that quiet can be deadly, meaning they're like, I'm done. And when it's time for me to go into that booth come November, I'm going to go there and I'm going to put my foot on the gas and go past the speed limit or whatever, because they are just done. I think, talk amongst yourselves.
Hey guys, if I could jump in real fast, I hate to cut Waj off. This protest march is about to begin. Actually, it is beginning right now. I see several thousand people here gathered basically in Southeast DC on the other side of the Frederick Douglass Bridge across from Nationals Park. My tech has been a little spotty today, so I just wanted to make sure that you guys got a good sense of this. I can hand the phone over to Sam right now. Actually have a pretty clear audio signal. Keep following me, Sam. Keep following me, Sam. And I'm going to see how close I can.
He jinxed himself.
He did. Never say anything about the tech. The tech
you're back.
Yeah, you're back. Go, Jim, go.
That they could keep us going. No, but this is going to be a sight to behold here, because all of these thousands of people are about to walk over the Frederick Douglass Bridge in Washington, D.C. towards downtown D.C. As I was saying earlier today, there were some early rumblings that they may take this march past Stephen Miller's house or wherever he's living right now. I don't want to dox or be accused of dox, but wherever he's living right now, they're causing some good trouble. I'm not exactly sure how this is going to play out, but we're here. And as Don once said, I'm a journalist. I'm just covering this, but I'm just saying that this thing is about to get going here, and it could get very interesting here in Washington, D.C.
Is there a way you can zoom in on that crowd, Jim? Can your guys zoom in a little bit?
Jim,
Give us a
Jim, as you
closer-
do that, I want to bring in someone. I want to bring in Jolly as well. And you know, Jolly always is surrounded with protesters. So
I know.
Is he doing the way he dancing? What's happening?
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on? They're moving very slowly. I don't know if it's a march or a crawl. I would call it, but they are moving towards us as we speak.
No, Jolly, you're on too.
Okay, my bad.
DC.
Okay, we checking in with DC now.
Right here in Southeast DC, and we're getting ready to march across the Frederick Douglass Bridge. There's thousands upon thousands of people here. We just got finished listening to a lot of DC organizers. Listen, the message, Don, Joy, the message today is this is great. This shows that people are pissed off, but it cannot stop today. It has to continue. A sustained movement, a sustained action is the only way we're going to defeat this fascism. That's been the messaging from all the organizers today. Every speech we heard talked about how you can get involved, how you can take action after this. And if you're watching this from anywhere other than DC, organize with your community. Listen to me. Time to stop this regime is running out. I know it sounds like hyperbole, guys. It's not. This is real life. They are taking over the country from the inside. So we're going to go march across the Frederick Douglass Bridge, talk to some people, and just get hyped up out here, Don.
And it looks like we have somebody at either end of the march. John just left the signal for a moment, but we've got Jolly Good Ginger on one end of the march. We've got Jim Acosta on the front end of the march. So we're checking this thing from both sides. Y'all make sure that you holler when you see or have anybody to talk to. But I think this, to go back to you just for a second, just on this, Waj, this is the question I was going to ask you is, this is what we need in this moment, but the follow-up, and for you and also, for Rashad, is what is the follow-up? Because, right, I mean, I remember Occupy Wall Street, which had lots and lots of crowds, but no follow-up and nothing really came of it. And so one of the things I have noticed is you haven't heard from or known about a lot of Democratic Party members who are there. They're, I guess, not trying to co-opt this moment. But is this an opportunity for political organizing, or is this just non-political, straight-up social organizing?
I think, going back to Don's point of
It's got to be both, man. It's got to be both. It's got to be both political and it's got to be social, man. We got to take what's going on out in the streets and we got to take it to the ballot box, man. That's the only way that we're going to see the change that we want to see as people. As if you want to get out this war, we got to win at the ballot box. If you want gas prices and all this shit to come down, we got to win at the ballot box, man. And that's what people have to understand. These protests is great. Like, that's why we covering it. You know what I'm saying? But we got to translate that into action, man. This is the Remix with Kelly Dre. You know what I'm saying? We tapping in with these No Kings protests today. Subscribe to the channel, like, comment, and you know what I'm saying? Do your part to resist this movement, man, because trust me, it's going to hit you in one way or the other. If you have a car in this country, oh, you're affected. You know what I'm saying? If you got to drive to work in this motherfucker, you got to go drop your kids off anywhere. You got to go pick up the weed sack from the nigga down there. You're being affected. So this is important, man. That's why we up here covering it. And you're going to get straight real content and speaking truth to power over here at the Remix with Kelly Dre. And that's what I think all these individuals do very well. And that's why we tapping in with them, man. So, yeah, let's get back to this commentary real quick, man. Like, comment, subscribe.
Guess what? They're radicalizing aunties in real time. I'm telling you how many folks I hear say, that Tucker guy, he's pretty good. I'm like, excuse me, Tucker Carlson? Nick Fuentes, that young man? I mean, the Nazis, they only get bite-sized WhatsApp, auntie messages, right? And so if the Democratic
I got one this morning, Watch.
What's that? If the Democratic
I got one of those texts this morning.
And you and me and Mehdi are trying our best to de-radicalize. And let's just be blunt, Joy. The first time I talked to you about this.
Listen, shout out to Ali, man. I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna take control of the ship real quick. This is important. You know what I mean? This is important. The reason why y'all see in my face right now is because gas prices is out of control in California. Yeah, let me fix my shit so y'all can, you know what I'm saying? Listen, the reason why y'all tapping in with the remix with Cali Dre right now at this very moment, gas prices out of fucking control. All this shit out of control, man. And so I love to see the people out in the streets making their voices heard, because if you a student of history and how to move the needle in this country, this is how you get it done. This is the start of it, right? Everybody feels more comfortable expressing their dissent if we all as a group express our dissent. So if you in alignment with this administration, this probably ain't the show for you. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. You probably gonna be pissed off at Cali Dre. It is what it is. Stand in line, motherfucker. But you know, if you are tired of paying high prices, if you tired of the gas prices, if you are tired of being lied to, if you tired of the spin and you just want to get an opportunity to wake up every day and push for your dreams, man, I think you have to start opening your mind to what good information looks like. If you know what the problem is, you know how to fix it. That's how I always look at shit. So, you know, independent media, man, is definitely a great source of understanding what the problem is. And all of these individuals, again, have seen it from both sides. They've all anchored shows. A lot of these people have come up here, anchored shows, big networks. They've seen inside the boardrooms, inside the back rooms, the press, the spin, the you know what I'm saying, quid pro quo, all that. So now they've all struck out and partnered up and are bringing you their perspectives. And I think it's a very unique moment in the history of our media and on our country. And so that's why we're covering this, man. That's why it's important. And that's why I think, you know, it should be important to you. Most definitely. Hit that like button.
Because one of the things I heard that they don't promote is that one of the things with their concentration camps, they're planning on housing like 100 million people out of our 300 million people of, you know, America. And they're talking about coming after our veterans as well. If they get homeless on the street, and all of a sudden you got no shelter, no relative, you got Social Security, you got whatever you got, they're going to take it and make you pay for them to.
So what do you think about this right here?
I think this is great. I came here after just coming from the No Kings March over there by the Lincoln Memorial Bridge. No, Memorial Bridge, DC, and marching down to the Lincoln Memorial as well.
Yeah, it's all types of people out here that's pissed off, man. You know what I mean? You know, me being a black man in America, I think shit, I got the hardest problem. But everybody got problems, man. If you know anything about what we've been through in the last 20 to 30 years in this country, everybody's been affected by something that's going on. Financial collapse. We had COVID shut down the whole world for 2 years. Been a bunch of shit going on, man. So people just want, at this point, I think, some type of level course correction and some type of, you know, direction that's set, that's stable, that we can look forward to. And I don't think this administration is about that. This administration is about lining their pockets, and you can see it every day. Hell, watch the show I did last night. Go run the views up on that, and then you'll get a clear picture of the corruption and the levels of that's going on. But I'm always excited to see the people hit the streets, because I think that's a healthy way to voice our opinion collectively and speak truth to power, man. And that's what we all about over here, man. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.
Going to pay for this like 9/11.
I agree. We got a question for you. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this. I got to pick up on this. He said, "I used to be proud to be an American."
Right.
Can you have him follow up on that? Why is he not proud anymore?
You said you're used to be proud to be an American. Why are you no longer proud to be American? And how can we
Because
fix
it's embarrassing this way he's talking. And talking about NATO. I served NATO 3 years. We need NATO for peace and democracy. He's an embarrassment to our country. I mean, I shared something as well about where the world leaders are commenting about and outlining all his different bootlicking team that got to go. The whole regime at this point, what we the people got to do next time we have a march like this, and even now going forward, we need to sign a petition for Article 2, Section 4, or
I think you're absolutely right.
Section 8. Except because he's violated so many of our constitution rulings.
I think you're absolutely right. And they said this is crazy. And you know, I think if you allow crazy to be normalized, then it just becomes normalized. People get used to crazy. But I ain't used to crazy. I like my shit to go a certain way. You know what I'm saying? I don't like. If I got money in the market, I want to make sure the arrow going up. I don't want it to be going up and down on some roller coaster shit. I don't like roller coasters like that. Not with my money and not with my livelihood, nah, and not with my rights, nah. So again, that's why all this is important, man. That's why I think it should be important to you, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. And they said it. I appreciate you for, you know what I'm saying, dropping your commentary as well. That link is in the chat as well, man. You know what I'm saying? Don't be shy. That link is in the chat.
I'm the redneck of the group. Yeah, look, Joy, they were out here. Can I get a frog interview? Can I interview a frog?
Get a frog in front of us while you're corralling a frog.
Getting a frog. I want
Tell me about
Joy. I want. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Don. Hang on one second.
No, go Jolly.
No.
All right,
Go
so tell me
interview the
why
frog.
the frogs are out here.
Right, so we got the Portland Frog Brigade came downtown a few weeks back for the State of the Swamp, and they taught us about frogging and how we bring in a little levity to our protest situation. How can we be domestic terrorists? We're dressed up as frogs up in here.
So you're just a bunch of radical left fucking lunatics.
We're crazy, and we're gonna dance, and we're gonna have a good time here, and we're frogs for peace. We're peace frogs.
I love it. One thing that I like about the frogs is ICE is out here in the same equipment that I wore to Iraq, the same equipment I wore to Afghanistan, the same uniform I wore that they never earned. And they're carrying their weapons and their frag grenades. And the opposite of them, we got fucking frogs.
Frogs. Yeah.
We love it.
Clearly, they're overdressed for the occasion.
Yeah, the frogs is out there. Frogs is out there. But I think you're absolutely right. Again, they said, you know what I'm saying? We all should be afraid. I think as well, we should all be vigilant, man. We use your platform, use your voice, pick your lane, and make sure that you are doing your part to stand up to all this chaos. You know what I mean? And that's how we collectively, can win this. And I think that's what everybody's doing. If you kind of look at what's going on out here in these streets, everybody's, dressing up, they got their signs and they making their voices heard. And we got to continue to do that, man. It's a continuous struggle because motherfuckers with power don't want to give up power. It's just real simple. If you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers that got a lot of power don't want to give up their motherfucking power. And at all costs, they're going to try to hide and conceal and deceive in order to maintain their status. But if their status infringes on our status, then that's the motherfucking problem. And I think that's what we're seeing out here in these streets right now today, man. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, man. It's the
and we have to be fun as part of our engagement and welcome people in all different ways. I think back, even before Donald Trump, how hard it was in some ways to get Democrats to do the kind of most simplest thing on corporate accountability, for instance. As a longtime person who took on corporations, took on social media platforms.
On top of your long-term financial goals, you can also support.
Yeah. Support this channel. You can also support the remix with Cali Dre, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, tap that Cash App. I'm on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Kick. You know what I'm saying? Wherever the fuck you want me to be, I'm gonna pull up over there. I'm gonna slap a couple motherfuckers around. I'm gonna talk a bunch of shit, man, because that's what I do. But today, man, we're gonna let the people talk shit, man, because the protest is going on, and we're gonna tap in with this commentary right here, man.
Will we hold those institutions accountable? How will we take away their power? I remember being in the room with, the day we were trying to get a very simple piece of legislation that would have reined in some of the tech companies in terms of their monopolistic power. And, Chuck Schumer told me that he didn't think anyone cared enough about this, right? He didn't think that there was enough. And there was a piece of me that was like, do we actually have the power yet to make him see that people care? Yeah. Can we force him to actually do that? And I think part of what we've got to do with this energy here is to be able to translate for folks that either you engage in a way that's actually going to hold these institutions accountable, that's going to change the actual rules, or we replace you with someone else. And that's what this has to be about. As it was said earlier, this can't just be about vote blue no matter what. This has to be about what does the future look like and how does the future look different than the past. This is not just a symptom of Donald Trump. We have been building towards this. We've been in a moment of populism where people have wanted something different for a while. And on the left, we have oftentimes considered we have consistently served them the same.
That's right.
Over and over again. And so we need something different.
Amen.
Hey, Jim,
That's
stand
right.
by. Everyone, please stand by. I'm going
Yeah.
to bring in now Tara Setmeyer, who's the co-founder and CEO of the Seneca Project, friend of the show. Also with us, Crystal Ball. Crystal is a American political commentator, obviously, and the host of Breaking Points.
But before we
the
let
very-
those two wonderful people in, Don,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know.
We
I
got to
think
say goodbye
that
to Wajahat.
yes, I think Wajahat Ali's got to run. Rashad Robinson. I want to
Yeah.
thank both of you guys for being here. Two of the best in the business in terms of strategery, we're going to call it now, in honor of George W. Bush, our first warmonger president. Thank y'all both for being here. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Hi,
Hey guys,
Tara.
I just want to say
Hi,
before you get
Crystal.
into these conversations that you're about to have, the march is now heading across the Frederick Douglass Bridge. The tech demons are not interfering with our signal right now. I just want to let you know, give you a status update. We are finally going across the bridge, and I have kind of a clear signal. But Tara, I don't want to take
Jim
away
is
from
like,
Tara. I love you
Team,
some Tara.
we're here and we're working for you.
Same.
Man, Jim, get your motherfucking signal together, man. You been trying to go across that bridge for the last 45 minutes. Listen, if y'all just tapping in, Jim been trying to get across that bridge for about 30 to 45 minutes. I don't know what his mic keep going out. Listen, they got him on that that Boost Mobile joint, man. I don't know what's going on. But let's check
From
back
that
in. with this.
project. We made lack of vote. We don't lack our voice and our fighting spirit. There you go. So if you're in DC, this is your rep. They know that. But we have a voice, don't have a vote. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Tara Setmeyer is very patriotic today with her flag in the background, and she's driving. What do you, Tara,
Hopefully
what
not
have you experienced? So
driving, or hopefully
no,
riding.
she's not driving. She's sitting.
Okay.
She's,
Signal is strong.
yeah,
Let's
she
keep
is
on.
parked. She is parked. Is she frozen? I think Tara's
She's frozen. Oh no,
Oh,
she's
there
she's
she goes.
moving. There we go.
Hey, Tara.
I'm here.
Hey, Tara. How are you?
I'm stationary.
Good. Do not start that car. Tell us what
No.
this means. I just downloaded your Seneca Project video this morning. Put it on my Instagram. It's excellent. You guys have been out there doing a lot of great messaging. And hey, Crystal, it's good to see both of you
Hey,
ladies.
lady.
So let's talk about what this means for both of you. Crystal, I know I'll be with you a little bit later in Choose Your Fighter, but let me start with you, Tara. What does this mean on your end of the aisle? I mean, you used to be a Republican. This is your former crowd. They've gone wonky on you. They've gone monarchist. And I asked this question earlier in the show, but I would love for you to answer it as well. What does it mean 250 years after the Declaration of Independence that we're again fighting monarchists and they're in your former party?
Well, first of all, thank you guys for having me, and thank you for downloading the video. I don't know which one you downloaded. We did 4.
This
No
land is
Kings
your
promos.
land.
Great. That
that
one
song.
is near and dear to my heart because the voices you hear in that are actual protesters from prior No Kings marches that our editors were able to put together and to add that to the visuals of this land. I just think that song, when Indivisible came to us and asked us to do some promos for them, that song, they were like, it just encompasses the moment that we're in. And I said, absolutely.
Yeah, I would agree with that, man. This is the remix with Kelly Dre. I appreciate y'all for rocking with your boy, man. We tapping in with these No Kings protests right now, going on all across the country. We trying to hear what the people think and what the people talking about, man. So yeah, let's get back to it.
Because we look at this and I look at the idea of patriotism, and so many Republicans are the ones who are like, we're the patriots, you know, we, the flag and America and rah rah, all of that. And then it's like, you are sitting here now and allowing this man to dishonor what this country was founded upon, to dishonor everything about what this 250th anniversary of our independence represents. And yet they try to cloak themselves in patriotism. And Joy, Don, you guys have known me a long time. Don, you've known me a long time. And you know that I've always been consistent about the fact that what Donald Trump is doing and what Republicans are allowing is anathema to what Republicans were supposed to claim they believed, which is why I was a never Trumper from the very beginning. And for this 10 years that we've been fighting this malignancy of Trumpism, this now in this moment, even more, I have never been more determined to see the Republican Party in its current form burned to the ground, because it needs to be vanquished to the ash heap of history. They have disgraced and dishonored everything that those who fought and died before us to keep this democracy going and to keep democracy around the world flourishing. They're dishonoring all of that. And I can tell you that I am not in DC. I'm actually at my local Northern Virginia No Kings for this time, because I just thought, I want to be in the local community and see what's going on. I was in DC last time. I was in Philly the first time when I joined you guys, and I got to tell you that what's interesting about the makeup of people here this time, it's a lot younger, a lot more white men. And the demographics seem to be different this time. You might hear a lot of honking going on in the background because there's still people out along the roadways here. And the people who are honking are a lot more white men. And it feels like there's something different happening. And I actually got into a rather heated exchange at the corner, because we're at the corners where the lights are, and there was this Trump supporter and his son, older guy in a pickup truck, and his son, and he rolled the window down and started yelling at us. And I just yelled back at him and I said, "You do understand that Donald Trump has betrayed you, right?" I said, "Donald Trump betrayed you. He thinks you're chumps." I said, "Is your life any better off? Donald Trump's gotten $4 billion richer. Are you better? Gas prices are over $4. And he just kept yelling, "Trump, yeah, Trump." And his son, who was sitting there, was almost like he didn't know what to do. Because I don't think people have ever said to them that your savior guy, Donald Trump, has betrayed you. People are starting to wake up to the fact that this guy has been full of it, and that he thinks that they're chumps, which is true, but no one is telling them that. And the more that Donald Trump acts like this, and I said, he promised no forever wars, but yet your sons and daughters, you over here claim the flag, he's sending them over there to die. He promised you that, didn't he? He lied to you. That guy didn't know what to do. The son didn't know what to do. The older father, some people you just can't reach. But there just felt something seems to be turning here.
Yeah.
And I think I'm a sap. I get emotional over things like this all the time, because I feel it's so important what we're doing. We're in a moment in history here that we're all called to do something. And silence is not an option, which I often say. But I can tell you that I cried tears today when an older gentleman was driving and he passed by and saluted all of us and just kept his salute up as he passed by us. And we were out there were people with flags, and I had my American flag, and I have a sign, I have a couple, and one of them said that, people died to defend our democracy before us. We're not going to let one man destroy it.
Yeah.
And
Wow,
that's the sign I
that's
had.
powerful.
And that was pretty powerful. And that's why we do this.
Crystal.
And that's why this matters. That's why what's happening today absolutely matters. And I'm honored to be a part of this history.
Thank you, Tara. Crystal, are you feeling the same thing? I mean, Tara seems fairly optimistic right now. I'm not so optimistic about November. I think Donald Trump and the Republicans are going to try to do everything they can to steal the election.
Did I lose you guys?
And I'm wondering what difference does this No Kings make?
Oh, well, there's no doubt they are going to do everything that they can to steal November. We have to, I guess, make it too big to rig. But I think Tara is right that there is sort of we're coming to a point here, right? We're coming to a real reckoning in this moment. I mean, his cult members are going to be with him no matter what. He's famously says, "I could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue." It's true, right? At this point, I think we know there's some 30% of the country that are with him no matter what, and that is what it is. But I'll tell you, so I live in kind of like the middle of nowhere in King George County, Virginia. It's a very conservative area. I think it votes like 65-35 for Trump in all three elections. And I went down to our No Kings protest. And first of all, for our little tiny town, it was pretty sizable. You had, I'm going to say, like 70, 80 people there. But what impressed me even more was the amount of support you were getting from the cars driving by. Again, very small town, very conservative area. And so I do think that there is, an apathy among his base, and then a disgust among some independents who did vote for him. And then, of course, the Democratic base is really energized and, in a sense, very radicalized as well. One of the things we were talking to people about is, what do they think of the war in Iran? They were just utterly disgusted and horrified. They didn't have these little well, he didn't check with Congress first. It was, no, this is wrong. This is immoral. This is the opposite of what he said he was going to do. So everybody was on the same page there. Obviously, the animus towards Trump is very strong with the people we were talking to, but there was also a very consistent frustration with Democratic Party leadership where they said, look, we're out here doing everything we can do. We're not getting paid. We're not elected to any position. And here we are raising our voices and trying to organize and do whatever we can think to do. Where are you? So
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would absolutely agree with that. This the remix with Kelly Drake, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking with your boy, man. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We checking in with these No Kings protests today, man. We want to know what the people talking about. Let's get it.
Tara Setmeyer was talking about, the sort of dishonor that's befallen the Republican Party. I think the dishonor is shared. And I think one of the challenges in trying to sort of frame this as a D versus R moment is that a lot of people who tend to vote Democratic feel just as despondent and disappointed in their party, whether it's the genocide or whether it's the promises made and they haven't felt kept. I think that's one of the challenges. That's why I keep asking the organizers that are joining this call, Don and Jim, what we do with this, because it doesn't feel like it necessarily redounds to the benefit of a party or the Democratic Party, Crystal, because the Democratic Party itself is quite corporate. If you give us your take on that while we see who Jim Acosta is pulling together. But Crystal, what do you make of that?
Yeah, well, that's part of the reckoning I think that's going on right now. I mean, we're doing, Joy, you're participating in this Choose Your Fighters anti-war rally we're doing with a bunch of progressive candidates, some of whom are challenging Democratic incumbents. And part of the message there is we have to have a party that is willing to stand up to capital, that is willing to stand up to organize money, whether it be AIPAC or Big Pharma, the forces that have upheld the status quo and helped march us into this fascist moment. So, that's the place where I'm hopeful because, yeah, the Democratic Party as it stands today, listen, are they vastly better than Republicans?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. No doubt about it. Okay, let's be totally clear. But is it sufficient? No, they left the door open for the return of this fascist to the White House in exactly the moment we're in. So, to Don's point about whether I'm hopeful or whether I'm depressed, I would say all of the above. I mean, the moment is extremely dire. I don't want to underplay it. We are literally facing World War III, potential economic calamity. I mean, it could not be worse in terms of what we're facing. We're also facing an authoritarian who, yes, will use war powers or whatever he can think to do to try to take control of the elections and stop what appears to be a massive wave that is coming for the Republicans. On the other hand, I think there is such disgust. I mean, we've seen the way in these special elections, Democrats have picked up 30 seats, Republicans have picked up 0. We see the mass protests, which I think are incredibly important just for people to feel like they're not alone and see that this is a majority opinion. It gives people some courage to stand in solidarity with one another. And then I see so many incredible, brave, outsider, truly courageous, principled candidates who are stepping up to the plate that gives us a shot to have a party that actually will have some teeth and tackle the issues that we have to existentially as a country and as a globe, frankly.
Yeah, amen to that. Amen to that. Crystal Ball, I'm excited to be on with you later. Choose Your Fighter. We're going to be talking about this this unnecessary war and hopefully not World War III, but it looks like it is a setup to it. Thank you, my sister. I want to really quickly.
I thought it was interesting that Crystal said that she lives way out in the boonies because I often notice her other half does his show on a deck, and I'm like, where is he in the woods? Like, what is going on?
Don, I didn't know you were a Kyle fan. You're watching Kyle's show?
Oh yeah, I've watched both of you. Come on,
yeah, that's awesome.
They're both great shows.
This is my town. This is my hometown where I grew up.
I like anyone who is speaking the truth and who's not afraid to stand up to this administration. And so, I'm a fan of yours and Kyle, and you guys keep going. Thank you so much.
That's awesome.
And thank you for being a friend of the show.
Guys.
Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Bye, Crystal.
Looks like Jolly Good Ginger Don looks like he's doing something fun. Do we want to know what that is? I feel like we want to know.
And I would love to talk to Mohini Tangri, but it looks like her shot is frozen. We'll bring her in a little bit. She's in Minneapolis. But yeah, I think Jolly, what have you got for us, sir? You got to unmute your mic.
You unmute. You're muted.
Okay, can you hear
Jolly.
me now?
You're
There you
silent.
go.
There we go.
We got you.
My
We got
bad,
you.
my bad. Okay, so we're actually on the bridge now. We're crossing the bridge. I got one of the protesters here. Can you explain the sign you're carrying?
This is a sign from the Hunger Games. It's the Mockingjay, and it's basically a representation of resisting authoritarian governments.
And why the Hunger Games?
I just think it's a great example of a government gone amok that really just got out of control and people fought back.
I noticed on the front it says where the files at. So talk to us. Do you think that a lot of this is a distraction from the files, or is that just part of it?
I think the war is definitely partially a distraction from the files, but I think he's just doing whatever he can to keep people from paying attention to them.
Okay. And so do you think that if those files, let's say this, if the files were made public, what do you think would happen?
I think people would be a lot more angry based on just knowing who's in the files and what's happening.
Would MAGA turn on them?
I think some would, not everyone.
And do you think that we need to do like the Hunger Games and rise up as a people?
I definitely think we need to rise up peacefully as a people.
Thank you so much for being out here. Appreciate you. I like the fact that she invoked the Hunger Games because didn't Trump just announce here?
Your biggest fear came true. Your beloved pet is suddenly missing.
Luckily, you have Google Fi Wireless. It's fast because every second counts when you're chasing down leads.
Petition at the White House. My first
Two
thought was
from
Hunger
each state.
Games.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A woman and a man from each state. Very Hunger Games like. Yes.
Very much. Yeah, we're on the
I wa-
bridge, by the way. Look at this shot, Don. Joy. We're on the Frederick
that.
Douglass Bridge. We got it filled
Wow.
up
Wow.
left to right,
Wow.
back
Look
to
at that
front.
crowd.
Show the whole thing. Yeah, look at this.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crossing the bridge.
That is incredible. And Don, by the way, we're looking at these shots just to let y'all know I'm trying to look at the screens here. I think we see Boston. What is that on the other side? We see
Minneapolis,
Austin,
there's
Texas,
Boston,
Austin,
there's
Texas,
Philadelphia,
Philly.
there.
Pretty amazing.
Hey, can I bring in someone? I want to bring in Mohini Tangri
Go for it.
because it's very important. Mohini is in Minneapolis and on the ground, founder of the Helios Law and an attorney on the legal team litigating against ICE. And look, for this right now, in the moment that we're in, Mohini, thank you for joining us. Minneapolis is ground zero for everything. So what's going on there?
Yeah, I will say it's very loud, so apologies if you're not able to hear it cuts in and out. But there are so many people here right now. I think I can show you a little bit of the scale.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so many people showed up in just a couple of hours. There were 3 different marches from 3 different parts of St. Paul that all ended up coming to the Capitol, and we have several speakers who are going up. We're having people sing, and it is just an incredible environment to be in, an incredible energy. And I have a couple of protesters who are here willing to chat with me. Can you tell me a little bit about what it feels like to be here and to be from Minneapolis or from Minnesota and continue to be fighting this fight?
Have them get as close to your source for audio as possible.
Okay. Can you hear them? Yeah.
No, because are you wearing headphones?
One moment.
If you're wearing headphones, you won't be able to hear them.
Okay, it should work now.
Yes, that's much better.
Our kids, our future, to fight for democracy, to fight for this country. We're here to fight this fascist administration.
Oh yeah. I appreciate it. And they said it. I definitely appreciate it. Yeah, we just tapping in with the No Kings, man.
Phone is closer
Yeah, I mean, we trying to find out what the people on, man.
What's the one thing that motivated them, or was it all of it? Is it the war? Is it the gas prices? Is it Epstein? Is it the defying of federal judges? Like, what is it that motivated them the most to come out? And you're muted.
And it's seeing people who everyday people just being taken away out of their homes, out of their schools, being brutalized on the streets. We can't let this administration do this to everyone in our city, in other cities, in other countries. Like, we need to fight for peace.
How are they, Mohini? How are they feeling about November, the election coming in November?
to tell us. How are you feeling about the November election? We have to show up. We have to vote. Show up and vote.
Yeah, don't be afraid to vote.
Take this country back.
Yeah, go to the polls, vote, get out there. Don't let the administration scare you. Get out there, do your part.
Thank you. And Mohini, thank them for us. And I want to ask you, if you're out there and you're doing, I would imagine that you're involved in litigation as an attorney. Where does it stand right now with ICE and with people you are representing? If you can speak about that in Minneapolis.
Say that one more time. I'm so sorry.
I want to know about the legal fight in Minneapolis that you are having with people there. I would imagine they are in some sort of litigation against ICE or the Department of Homeland Security.
Yes, so what we have done is 10 people we're focusing on people who
It's a little hard to hear.
Yeah, it's hard to hear. If you can go back to the phone, Mohini, it's actually better when you use the phone instead of the headphones.
Okay, is this better?
Yes, much better.
Okay.
Thank you.
It's that I can't hear you when this is on, so apologize.
Yeah.
Yo, that link is in the chat as well, man. Anybody want to come up and chop it up, man? That link is in the chat. We on this No Kings protest, man.
The legal team that I'm on has
I heard,
filed 10
seeing what the people talking about.
on behalf of individuals who were brutalized by ICE at protests. We are generally representing individuals who went and, they used their First Amendment right, freedom of speech, to speak up against this government. And in return, we're, there's gas that was used on them, there were rubber bullets that were used on them. There are a couple of people in this initial group of filings who have been they've been on the front lines. There's one person who actually witnessed Alex Petty's death. And so the people who we have involved are very powerful. We're very glad to be able to give them a bit of, to amplify their voices and to use the legal process to support them.
Thank you, Mohini. We appreciate you joining us. Thank you
Don,
so much.
Let me jump in and really quickly note before we jump back to Jolly Good Ginger that these protests are not just in the United States. There are protests right now, Don and Jim, that are happening in Paris, central London, Toronto, Canada, Rome in Italy, Madrid in Spain, Berlin, Germany, the Netherlands, Athens, Greece, Australia, and that's just the ones that we know about. I just want to let folks know that this is not just a US-based movement. This is a global movement as well. And I see Jolly's got somebody that it appears he is ready to talk to, but I want to get that in.
First of all, I agree with you, Joy. This is a global movement. Every little bit counts. But I was just talking to this gentleman here. I noticed, first of all, you got your Harris for President shirt on. Maybe if we'd have made that decision, we wouldn't fucking be here.
Well, we did. She won.
Hot take. She won.
There's no way he won all those swing states.
So what do you think happened?
All right now.
I have no idea. Yeah, I think it has something to do with Elmo and Doge business, erasing the work that he did, but who knows?
So you think Doge came in and covered the whole thing up and did it?
Yeah.
Hot take?
Nah, that ain't a hot take. I've been telling y'all that shit for a whole year. Doge is some bullshit. Hit that like button, man.
What do you think is going to happen come November?
Yeah, that's if we have an election.
Not a hot take. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think would stop it from happening?
It's all right in front of us. He's doing everything possible to declare a state of national emergency for the midterms.
So to clarify your position, you believe he was going to try to pull something like that to stop the election from happening?
100%.
Wow.
100%. I don't put anything past him.
So do you think that the American people, given what you just said, that that's a real thing we're saying in 2026, and I happen to agree with you, by the way, do you think the American people are underreacting?
I think you said it best. They're underreacting. We got to get out.
Yeah.
We got to stop it now.
Appreciate you being out here, brother. Thank you so much.
Jolly,
Hey,
thank you. Let me
Joy.
bring in Sam Forstag. He is
I try to get people to say shit on camera, but I still don't have time.
Hey, if you guys have a second, I could bring in somebody right here.
Yeah, let's bring in Kelly Dre for a minute. Let's bring in Kelly Dre. This is the remix with Kelly Dre, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's bring that nigga Kelly Dre back on this motherfucker. Listen, as y'all can see, Yeah, we have multiple different locations, man. We got Austin, Texas, Minneapolis, New York, Orlando. I mean, protests going on all across the country, man. No Kings protests growing. And I think they're going to be going on pretty much all day, man. There's a bunch of performances that are scheduled in Minneapolis. I think Springsteen's supposed to be out there, some elected officials. So it's pretty wide ranging, man. But what's not wide ranging is the fact that there's a lot of people in this country that are not happy with the direction. And I think that it's important to highlight that, because if you listen to certain, corporate media, they want you to believe it's all rosy out this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Shit, it's raining dollar bills out this bitch, man. But a lot of us know that that's not true. And so that's why all these people are out here in the streets right now. And that's why I'm continuing to cover this. And that's why I think it should be important to you, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, man. Let's get on with a little bit more commentary.
Okay, well, this is conservative. These are people who, probably voted Republican or voted for Trump.
Well, Western Montana, until about 6 years ago, Montana had a Democratic senator, Democratic governor. We were a purple state until 6 years back. And then a lot of the state swung to the right. And it was because, housing prices doubled or tripled at a time when wages weren't keeping up. And because a lot of people here cannot afford $20,000 a year for healthcare when you're making $57,000 a year on average. And so a lot of those people believed, they got sold a bill of goods that they were going to fix the price of eggs and that they were going to make sure you could afford a house, and they didn't do any of that. Instead, they just siphoned all the money off to their rich corporate donors, and people are pissed, and they can see it. You can't hide a war with Iran that nobody wants and that we're going to end up paying for. So, yeah, here in Butte, this is a longtime union town. Last year, half of the union members in this state voted Republican. It didn't used to be like that, and that's something we got to change right now.
And now where are they on that? And are they willing to vote for someone like you, willing to vote for someone who's not a Republican or not MAGA?
Right now people are angry and they're not excited to be Democrats just yet. But I'll tell you, I would be the first union member to be a Democratic nominee for federal office in this state in over a decade. That's part of how we bring people back, is we got to offer them candidates that they can see their lived experience reflected in. And there's a lot of people just struggling to get by out here. And we need to start running people who know what it's like to be paying 80% of your rent or of your income just to afford a roof over your head. And you're going to fight with all the more fire because we know what that's like.
Yeah. Well, Sam, good luck. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. And good luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sam. Good luck. Let's get Jim Acosta in there. He's got somebody standing there with him.
Hey, thanks, y'all.
I got Ray with me right here. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you, and we can see Ray.
Ray, you got a sign there. It says, what does that say? 89 veteran? Impeach Trump. And can you guys hear Ray okay?
We can't hear Ray at all.
You can't hear Ray
on your phone.
Oh,
No,
wait.
it's your.
Does he have a mic?
We can't hear Ray, but you can hear Cali Dre. And this is the remix with Cali Dre, man. We on this No Kings protest today, man, and we're gonna get it cracking like that. Pretty much for the remainder of until I decide to turn this shit off. You know what I'm saying? But in the meantime, hold up, let me flip my shit back. In the meantime, in between time, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, support independent media, man. Rock with your boy, man, because I'm gonna bring y'all that real, man. We speaking truth to power over here as only we know how to. And shit, I think that's what all of these individual contributors collectively are able to do with this platform. So we're gonna support that.
And destroyed it because we were the meeting place between black and white Washington and all the activities surrounding the Vietnam War. But we amassed our troops and we marched on Washington and we stopped the Vietnam War, and we'll stop this nonsense too. It's up to the people to get out there and show their color and stop this nonsense. So here I am.
You're that optimistic? You're that optimistic about it?
Oh, absolutely. I've been through it all. I mean, I lost every single thing under
Shout out to OG. OG said I've been through it all.
And his goons. And I came back, and I'll do it again if necessary. We did it before, and we can do it again. Remember that from way back when? I mean, we're a resilient people. We've been through this nonsense before, and we've been able to shake it off, and we'll shake this one off too.
Amen. That's fantastic.
Yeah, we need that kind of optimism. We need that kind of optimism out there, man. Hit that like button.
Thank you for your service, sir. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
And I was drafted in 1959. And if we had the draft today, we wouldn't be having this nonsense because everybody would have their sons and daughters involved in this and they wouldn't put up with this bullshit.
There you go.
So bring back
Up right now.
Sir, can I
There we
ask you
go.
really quickly, what do you
Yeah, he
think
bring
of
back. He want to draft your
Trump,
ass.
who did
Get
not
your kids
serve
in this
and
shit, and
when he was
you think
called
about
on,
this shit
didn't serve
differently.
in Vietnam?
He's always been the biggest phony around. I mean, my God. I mean, why you, the press, have given him all the attention that you have for all these years? You've allowed him to do this bullshit. You've never called him on it. You've never put his feet to the fire and let him get away. You've used him, everything he said for how many years now? 30, 40 years, let him get by with all his crap. And so now here we are, you know, and shame on you.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
Ray, yeah.
I mean, the media has given him attention for 30 years. Not specifically, but yeah. No, I totally agree. 30
That's why
years.
Joy and I
that's
aren't
not a
in
free
the
ride.
mainstream media anymore because we wouldn't put up with that shit.
Yeah.
Amen. And Jim as
Yeah,
well.
listen,
Thank you,
listen.
sir, but I
OG,
think
hey, listen. OG making his motherfucking stand, man.
That's it.
That's a military
There
vet.
it is. I appreciate that loving critique. Can we really quick? We have a couple of people waiting, sir. Thank you, Jim, for bringing us the real, keeping it real. We have a couple
That was
people that
good,
have guests.
Joy.
Amen, amen. Let me bring back in my producer Nitha Khan if she can come in, and Qasim Rashid is also out in these streets. Can we get Qasim on as
So
well?
two other people, Joy. Two other people.
We got two more. We got
Harry
Qasim.
Dunn. Harry Dunn.
We got Harry
is,
Dunn. All right, we're bringing in
protected
the
us during
gang.
January 6th.
There we
Nick
go.
Valencia.
And one
Nick
more,
Valencia
David
is in Los
Valencia.
Angeles.
Let's go in
Here we
order.
go,
Ladies first. Nitha, who have you got? Nitha, go. Who have you got?
Let's go with this in the background.
Nitha, are you there?
We don't. She can't
All right,
hear us.
Qasim, who have you got? All right, Nitha, who have you got? Who have you got, Nitha? Oh, we lost her. Go ahead, Qasim. Who have you got?
Can you guys hear me okay?
We can
That
hear
was
you.
great. Thank you very much. Thanks for doing
I'm
that.
out.
You're talking to Don.
I'm out of Naperville, Illinois, and this, if you know anything about this area, up until about 4 or 5 years ago, this was one of the reddest parts of Chicagoland. And I'm gonna have my cameraman just pan out to give you a visual. We've got about 4,000 or 5,000 people out there. You got folks all walks and backgrounds condemning this absurdity, this fascism, and I'm feeling motivated. I'm feeling people bringing the energy, recognizing the urgency of the moment, and recognizing it's more than just coming out and marching. I'm hearing people talk about voter registration drives, voting groups. It's an exciting time.
You know, Qasim, Chicago was ground zero before Minneapolis, and I'm wondering, you know, how are people still feeling? Is that still resonating even today? The sort of anger and frustration that people felt when you and I were both out there earlier this year.
Hell yeah, it's resonating, Don. Don't you see all these motherfucking people out here? Look, see, listen, let me answer that question. Don, hell yeah, it's resonating, bruh. Don't you see all these motherfucking people out here, bruh? You in the studio tucked away and shit. You and Kelly Dre ass, y'all ain't out here on the motherfucking streets. Yeah, it's resonating, bruh. Look at these motherfucking signs and these costumes. That's how I would answer that shit. Oh God, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. That's probably why I don't have a media credential, but I do have several degrees, so I do know what the fuck I'm talking about, just in case you was wondering, man. But hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for your boy, and let's tap in with a little bit more of this information and what the people talking about, man.
60-year lows. And so the people here are pissed off that as things are getting better and better, you've got this nut job in the White House sending his goons to try to make them worse and worse. And so the folks here are united, they're working together, and that's the energy we need to continue to carry forward.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. We got to continue to resist the nonsense, man. And I think Rashid, you know what I'm saying? Brother Rashid, you know what I mean? Definitely hit that on the head perfectly, man. It's plain and simple. There's no reason gas prices in California should be approaching $10 a gallon. There's no reason at all we should be in a war with Iran. We shouldn't have hit Argentina. It's a lot of shit we shouldn't have did. But I think once things start to hit people's bank accounts, kitchen tables, their families, it becomes more real, man. And that's the moment that we in right now. And I think that's why this shit's important. This is some shit I've always been speaking on, man. If y'all tapped in with this platform and this program, y'all done heard me speak on any platform I've been on, bruh. I've always told y'all that this day would come. And we here now. You know what I'm saying? Y'all fucked around and now we finding out. And I appreciate people, you know what I'm saying? Because there's people that hit me in the back chat like, Dre, I should have, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? You was on your shit, you know what I mean? And I appreciate that, bro. It's not about me being right or wrong. It's just, hey, I have a degree in this shit. I have a degree in politics. So that gives me a decided advantage when we talking about politics. I'm going to just put that on the table. So anybody that wants to argue with me, I mean, I can get real deep with this shit, man. But at the end of the day, that's not my goal. My goal is to break it down for the everyday people, man, and just bring information that people can consume on a daily basis, weekly basis, and watch my clips and watch my show and get a better understanding of what's going on and the conditions of politics and who has their back and who, doesn't have their back. And that's just really, how I look at it, man. I believe everybody in this country should have an opportunity, to get to the next level should they choose. If they work hard enough, it should be a roadmap for you. You shouldn't have to work hard enough and then there's nothing at the end of that road. And that's what a lot of motherfuckers find themselves in. They included myself for a lot of at some period. So, this whole shit's upside down right now. And Donald Trump is he's not the one who initiated, but he's definitely taking advantage of it. And he's expanding it and all the corruption and all that shit. He got his own damn Bitcoin that people can funnel money through to him. Well, go watch the show that I dropped last night, man. You know what I'm saying? And you'll learn more about that. But yeah, I'm about good information, man. Like I said, if you rock with me, you support me. This is how I got to, have the information in the game that I have to give. You know what I'm saying? Which is listening to smart people, man. If you want to get smart, you gotta listen to smart people. You want to get successful, you gotta surround yourself around successful people, man. And so that's what I aspire and try to do. And that's what this platform always gonna be about. You know what I'm saying? But today, we're gonna hear from the people, man. You know what I'm saying? Because shit, I got enough shit for y'all to watch. If y'all want to go hear me talk, go run through all the goddamn content I've been dropping for the last 3 months, man. And I appreciate those that have. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's hear from the people today because that's what it's all about, man. No Kings protest. We ain't going for that shit. Something need to change, and it ain't gonna be me. Let's get it.
I mean, we've walked at least 10 blocks already, and there's much more to go. So we're gonna kind of keep making our way downtown and see where it ends up. And I believe they're coming down 7th Ave as well. And
That link is in the chat as well. Anybody want to come co-host some of this politics? That link is in the chat.
But everybody's spirits are warm.
But y'all outside. Thank you so much, Nithakan. Appreciate it. TJR's producer, appreciate you.
Harry Dunn, author, political candidate, and former police officer who protected us during January 6th. Harry, how are you feeling about all of this, the folks who are gathering?
It's great. I will start with this. It didn't have to be like this. We could have been at brunch. We could have been at brunch. It's a beautiful Saturday. I'm here on the mall right now. I'm getting ready to take the stage. I'm right here at 3rd Street in Washington, D.C. And you know what? I always get excited when I see people like this. The energy that's out there, it's real. It's palpable. However, it makes me mad that we're here now because, like I said, it didn't have to be like this. We got to carry this energy into November at the polls and beyond. Because that's why we are here now where we are. Because people get complacent and think that, hey, democracy is just going to work. No, we have to continue to fight for it for the rest of our lives.
That's a fact. That's a fact. We got to fight for this shit every day for the rest of our life. That's a fact.
We have to make sure we're engaged about our candidate. And that's why I'm glad to be running. I'm glad to be running. When I ran last time, it was about the threat of what Donald Trump can do. It's no longer a threat. We're living it now. And he has 3 more years to do even more harm that we've already seen. So listen, I encourage everybody out there listening now to do whatever you can, your part is. I'm not saying everybody run for Congress because you got to be some kind of crazy who want to go join that dysfunction up on Capitol Hill. Y'all know what I'm talking about. But it takes people that are going to stand up.
But Harry,
it's going to take people that stand up and that are going to fight and do it. And I'm glad that everybody's out here fighting. Look, people are out here. They're not getting paid to do this. Everybody's thanking me for, hey, thank you for saving democracy. No, I did my job. I got paid for what I did on January 6th. These people out here now are showing up unpaid because they.
Yeah, I want to echo that. Motherfuckers is unpaid. I'm unpaid for bringing y'all this, you know what I'm saying, good information, man. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the Cash App for your boy, man. Because yeah, we just doing this out of love of country and out of community, man. And I can strongly relate to that. I'm not getting paid for this shit. This is the Remix with Cali Dre, sponsored by nobody. So hit that like button, man. Hit that Cash App. Rock with your boy, man. And you're gonna get the truth, man. We're gonna speak truth to power together. You feel me?
You all, Don, Joy, Jim, y'all know y'all got a special place in my heart, and I just love y'all for speaking truth to power. So y'all keep it up. I love y'all to death.
Appreciate you,
Harry
Harry.
Dunn. Harry Dunn, before you leave, can you hear me?
Yeah, Jolly.
Hey, listen, show that crowd right there. I'm bringing all these people to 3rd Street right now, Harry.
Well, I'm here. I'm gonna hop out real quick to tent. We're waiting on you, brother.
There you go. Show your scene.
We're waiting on you, brother. Come on.
Harry, are you about to speak?
Yeah, I'm speaking in about 15, 20 minutes.
All right.
And Harry, by the way, this time around has the endorsement of Nancy Pelosi. Harry's candidacy is for real, you guys. This
Yes,
I think is
indeed.
going to happen. This is going to happen.
Thank you, man. Thank you, y'all. I appreciate it from your lips to God's ears. Let's do this thing.
Can I just let you all know real quick? We love Harry Dunn, but I got to let you all know that Bruce Springsteen is on stage right now in Minneapolis.
Wow.
He's the headliner at what is considered the marquee event today.
There we go. Springsteen on stage. The boss. Let's get it.
Kings rallies is the one in Minneapolis. Of course, that is where the George Floyd protests happened. There he is, Bruce. And that, of course, is where you saw.
Yeah, Bruce out there. Bruce ain't fucking around either, bro. Bruce take this shit real serious, bro. Y'all, hey, listen.
And I think
Bruce take this shit real serious, bro. He know what it is. He out there supporting the movement. So shout out to Bruce Springsteen, man.
Look at that crowd, you all. That is amazing. It is so large. I will note, Don and Jim, just to give you our mainstream media update right quick. MSNBC, the artist formerly known, is now covering this live. They're covering Minneapolis, New York City, Boston. Everybody's going to cover this because Bruce Springsteen is there. CNN is now covering it. ABC is not. They are covering Nevada and UFO lore. Fox is covering Iran war and Tiger Woods DUI. BBC, no coverage, talking Iran. CBS, no coverage. C-SPAN has now finally started covering. I mean, to be honest with you guys, independent media is where the majority of people have experienced this No Kings 3.
Support independent media. Subscribe to my channel, most definitely.
Direct coverage and more coverage from the streets from us than they have from the mainstream media. That is worse than it was in No Kings 1 and 2. It's actually deteriorated somewhat in terms of the attention. I'm sure everybody will do stories tomorrow. And of course, Bruce Springsteen is going to bring information, but he's going to bring attention, but just wanted to let you all know. It looks like Nick Valencia has someone to talk to. Should we bring him in?
Yeah.
Next to the man.
Go ahead, Nikki. What you got? Tell us where you are.
Hey, Joanne, welcome here to On the Ground in Los Angeles, where things aren't going to get kicked off here for another 2 hours, but we're joined here. Can you guys hear me?
Okay. LA. Yeah. Couple hours. I got a couple hours to hit the streets. Okay. Bet. Let's go. Let's go. I'm out there.
Before, one of the quintessential organizers out here. What does No Kings 3.0 mean to you?
To me, it's the most American thing you can do right now in these troubling times as our liberties and our rights to free expression are slowly being stripped away. I think it is the most American thing you can do to take up a banner, take up a sign, take up arms to protest, exercise your First Amendment right, and say that you are disagreeing with this fascist regime that is in the White House right now. Not one party has a claim to patriotism. And I think the most patriotic thing you can do is voice your displeasure and your concerns for the path this country is going down.
And as we're joined here, I want to just take a 360 view here of what things are setting up. This is where the march is going to be. And if you're familiar with downtown LA, this is exactly where all the No Kings protests have been. It's that sidewalk behind me. That's where they had LAPD horses nearly trample demonstrators here back in June. And to remind viewers, the siege of America happened here in Los Angeles. It started here in Compton and Paramount. How have things changed? How have they gotten worse, Petra?
A lot of the main battling in the streets has kind of died down a lot. I was here June when there was an entire police line right down this crosswalk. I was hiding behind a tree with a friend. That has changed to become community power and community organization. We have taken our anger from the streets into the election booths, into city council, and to community activist organizations like Break Ice LA, which is what I help run. We have taken that anger and made it into something more constructive, more political, and going after the companies that are backing the ICE raids like Home Depot, Target, and Spotify, because our only voting power now is with our dollar.
And it's not just about Donald Trump here. I mean, speak on that part.
Let me take the show back real quick. Hey, this is the remix with Cali Dre. I appreciate y'all for rocking with your boy. Listen, I want to say this. The streets in Los Angeles most definitely have been you know, the shit has died down as far as the ICE shit. I mean, they still got raids and shit going on, but as far as the national media coverage of everything, like I think all that's died down. But I want to say this though, the streets are not the same. You know what I'm saying? People are still very much nervous and scared. A lot of the communities that may have been out in the streets freely enjoying life, you know, those numbers is thin now. You go to some parts of the city where it used to be vibrant and it's very thin. You know what I mean? And so that's the consequence of the things that we have been seeing. But definitely it's protests going on all across the country, man. You know what I'm saying? Here in California, I think each state is basically got some protests going on, which lets you know that not all of the country is going for the BS. And it looks like the numbers are turning, man. It looks like even, you know, I covered on my show last night, the CPAC convention calling for Trump's impeachment. There's people in the crowd at the CPAC. And if y'all know anything about CPAC, that's like Donald Trump's home base. You see what I'm saying? That's the MAGA Republican home base. And they actually are in the crowd screaming for impeachment. So, you know, again, man, I saw this, you know, a while back, man. And I try to tell people and I try to get ahead of the game. But, you know, our system and our thinking, our society is reactionary. You know what I'm saying? I'm more proactive about shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm more proactive about shit. I like to get to shit before it get to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get to your ass before you get to me. Please believe that. So that's how I look at shit. But at the end of the day, you know, I kind of been voicing my opinions and voicing my thoughts on what we need to do to not be in this moment. But, you know, now that we in this moment, I hope people see that. I wasn't just capping. I wasn't trying to just sound like the smartest motherfucker in the room. I just look at the resume. You can look at what this motherfucker about and tell what he gonna do. They put a whole Project 2025 plan out in your face and said, this is what we gonna do. And so people, you know, chose not to listen to that. But that's where we at. We fucked around and now we finding out. So, you know, I'm very much inspired to see people out in the streets, man. That's why I'm covering this shit personally. That's why I'm sitting here chopping it up instead of just letting it run like I do the football shit, because, you know, that shit don't really need commentary. But this, you know what I'm saying, this is more about, you know, what this channel is about, which is speaking truth to power. So I felt like it was important to cover this, and we're gonna cover a little bit more of this, man. And then I'm gonna may actually switch up to the sports shit. You know what I'm saying? So if you came over here for that flag football sports, I might be running that next, man. You know what I'm saying? But I had to get on this politics. No Kings protest day, man. I had to definitely drop my commentary on this, man. And I appreciate y'all for tapping in with your boy, man. So let's get back to a little bit more of this. And then yeah, we're gonna liven it up a little bit, man, with some sports content. Hit that like button, man. Subscribe to the channel. This the remix with Cali Dre, man.
And you were on the front page of the Drudge Report. I mean, that was some crazy stuff. Remind people of what was going on in Minneapolis at that time.
You know, we live in an era right now where press freedom is being violated every single day. And unfortunately, you know, not to make the story about myself, but I was one of those journalists who had my press freedom violated and a constitutional rights violated. I had federal agents push me into a line of fire in Minneapolis, despite repeatedly identifying myself as press, wearing a badge. And look, just because I don't agree with what President Trump does doesn't mean that I don't still abide by journalism ethics. And it's that professionalism that is our ultimate credential. And that does not matter. Yesterday, it was me being, you know, having a long gun pointed at me. Tomorrow, it could be any one of us watching this show. It is really very clear and evident to those of us who are on the streets and have been out here that it's us versus them. And if you're not wearing a law enforcement badge, you are treated immediately as, you know, sort of an enemy or a threat at the very least. We are out here because we have a voice. Our voices, it matters. Our institutions have been corrupted in this country, even if the players who work there have not. And you see just the difference, you know. I'm close to my mom just like you are close to your mom. My mom could be a news director in a top 10 market. She believes in what we do because she sees stuff on our pages that is not shown on the news. And it's that silencing that's happening in real time and in a very massive way right now, which makes our voices
Very
important.
true.
Very true.
And
That
Nick,
is
as
true.
you know my mom. Nick and my mom speak when I'm not. They're friends outside of our friendship. And the same thing, my mom sends me stuff from local guys and Nick. And I'm like, we're not, I did not see this anywhere. And
Hey, shout out to Nate Said It for that Cash App, man. Shout out to Nate Said It for that Cash App. I definitely appreciate it, man. Definitely appreciate it, man. We on this No Kings protest today. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know I had to jump out. Y'all know I had to jump out on this politics, man. Y'all know that. So that's what we doing, man. We on this No Kings protest today. We trying to see what the country talking about, what the people talking about, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me get my brain right while I'm talking to the people, man, because yeah, this shit's important, man. And it's important to me and it should be important to you. And that's why I'm covered it, man. So I appreciate y'all for rocking in, tapping in with your boy, man. And yeah, we gonna get a little bit more exposure to what's going on the streets, man. I'm gonna let the people talk to y'all, man. I've been talking to y'all enough. Shit, go watch my shows, man. I'm gonna let the people talk to y'all.
Arch that Trump wants to build outside of Arlington National Cemetery in Memorial Circle to aggrandize himself. And just bear in mind, he's President Bone Spurs, has not served a day in the Army, and yet he wants to disrespect all of the souls that are buried in Arlington National Cemetery
with Don
who are
Lemon.
there to be resting in peace for all eternity.
Thank you so much for saying that. I agree with you. And notice how she's got the arch here on her sign built out of the Epstein files. What's the semblance of that?
Well, it's just that he will do
That link
everything
is in the
to
chat as
distract
well.
from
That link is in the chat.
And his culpability in the Epstein world.
Amazing.
Wow. I agree.
Jolly, you
Also-
find the good ones. Go for it. What you got?
Also, I'm here with, this is Jake. You guys probably heard, Joy, you've heard about the Flair movement that had a continued presence outside of Union Station for about 9 months. Jake's one of the co-founders of Flair. Jake, what do you make of what's happening right now? Do you feel like there's been progress, and where are we heading?
I don't think there's been enough progress. I do think there's been progress. Some people are waking up. America needs to wake up, or we're headed for a disaster, honestly. America's going to crumble if we don't get up and get going. Days like this are great, but we need sustained pressure. We need to not just show up on one Saturday. And these Saturdays have a purpose. They get people out, they get people motivated. But we really need to get going and sustain pressure, or we're headed for disaster.
What do you think is going to happen on the midterms?
Are they going to be fair? Who knows? Probably not. I would guess I would not depend on the midterms. Otherwise, if they're fair, it's going to be a blue wave, and he's done in 2027.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Listen, I'm a mute that commentary because I actually want to jump in on that. It was something I wanted to cover on my show last night, man. But the elections, right? Let's talk about that. So there's a lot of conversation about ICE being funded and ICE, being at elections, and that's completely illegal, man. That's called voter intimidation. So anything about ICE masked agents showing up at elections to try to quote unquote deter illegal people from voting. Our elections are the safest in the world, man. You know what I'm saying? People that ain't supposed to vote don't vote. So don't believe the hype on that shit, man. But voter intimidation is real. And so, y'all always got to be on the lookout for that, man. But yeah, that's kind of the play they're trying to set up, is getting ICE agents at the local voting polling places once this election takes place. So I'm gonna cover that a little more. We definitely gonna dive into that, but I want to throw that out there, man, because it's actually something that I've been wanting to speak on, and so I'm glad he brought that up, man. But we're gonna get back to this commentary, man. It's the remix with Cali Dre, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking with your boy, man.
Who his sign said, "I chalked Stephen Miller's house," and I said, "What the hell does that mean?" So I asked him. He said, "No, I went to Stephen Miller's house and I wrote over his entire sidewalk in front of it with chalk, basically, calling him the fascist that he is." He got arrested for it. I thought that was pretty dope. The fact of the matter is, we're here in DC, and everybody I talk to, everybody out here at this march, if you talk to them right now, there's a unified message, and that's, we're running out of time. We got to do something now. This is not just lip service. It's a totalitarian coup from the inside. And everybody I asked, then what do we do? Hey, what do we do next? The answer overwhelmingly is the American people have to stand up in solidarity and fight back together.
There you go. Thank you, Jolly Good Ginger. Always bringing us the dope guests. We appreciate that. Let me bring on a couple other dope guests here. Paul Rykov, our dear friend, independent journalist, independent period, and a guy whose basketball game I interrupted the other night to get on the Joy Beach Show. And also our friends, speaking of independent media, Teray, host of Teray News TV, right here on the YouTube. Guys, let's get you guys in that order. I'm going to start with you, Paul. We are in the midst of apparently pre-World War III. Is that coming up among the people that you're talking with, and where are you?
Right, yes. Right now I am on 49th and 7th, Joy, and the crowd is huge. I'm under a giant Mario Brothers ad, which is kind of surreal.
Yeah, that link is in the chat as well, man. Anybody want to come up here and co-host, drop their opinions, man, that link is in the chat.
There's so much diversity, and there's so
Any of you MAGA, TikTok MAGA mongrels out there, that link is in the motherfucking chat, man.
Life, I've never seen something this big. And I think, yes, everybody is supercharged by the war in Iran. I think that every protest has gotten bigger, but now that this Iran war is unfolding, caskets are coming home. I'm seeing a lot more veterans, and I think it's broken a seal for people who wouldn't otherwise protest. So this is a tipping point. I think it's a tipping point also because we're actually unified as a country. Like, we haven't been unified in a long time, but we were unified around ICE. And now we're unified against the war in Iran. And I think it's creating kind of a triangulation around Trump, especially with independents and Republicans, that we've never seen before. So this is amazing level of creativity, energy, positivity. So many kids and families.
Listen, man, I want to say this too, man. I think this is actually critically important, man. Why they got this split screen up? I want to say this, man. This is what America looks like. You know what I'm saying? Look at this screen right here. This is what America looks like. It's what America's all about. You see a bunch of different people, all kind of races, all kind of colors, but they talking about the same shit. Like, nah, we're not going for this shit. Shit got to get better. And so that's what America looks like to me. You know what I'm saying? We can get in the individual battles of who's got what and who did what and all that. I mean, that's always going to be there, and we always going to be fighting that. But there's also bigger moments when you got to put some of that stuff to the side and realize that the boat that we're all in is about to go off the fucking cliff. And we're all in the goddamn boat. I think Steve said it earlier. How our ancestors got here may be different, but we all in the same goddamn boat now. So what are we going to do? You know what I mean? And so this is what America looks like, man. Y'all looking at the screen. That's why I'm covering this shit, man, because I'm about what the people talking about. And right now, the people talking about, they don't want high ass gas prices. They don't want no war with Iran. And I don't either. What the fuck are we in Iran for? Why? Iran ain't did shit to me. Iran ain't did a goddamn thing to me. Oh, because they said death to me. I don't give a fuck about that. Right? America need to do better out there. That's what it sounds like to me. So I'm not the type of motherfucker that always take criticism negatively, right? If motherfuckers are saying death to you, it's probably some shit that you done did wrong. So maybe you want to rectify that, right? So I look at it, bro. It ain't always got to be dropping bombs on shit. Sometimes it's just diplomacy, homie. Yeah, let's make a deal. Let's chop it up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Let's figure out how to make this work for all of us. And that's what democracy is all about. And that's what this shit look like. And that's why I'm covering it, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's important. You know what I mean? Hit that like button, man. Subscribe to the channel. The link is in the chat as well. If y'all want to come chop it up and co-host this shit, you feel me? Y'all know I had to jump out on this politics, man. But yeah. I mean, yeah, that's what it's all about, man. This is a participation sport. Politics, democracy is a participation sport. I mean, you got to get off your ass and actually do something if you want this shit to work. Simple as that, man.
Israel left wants this at a percentage of like 75%. So they are all in. This is the best thing that Netanyahu's done in years for them. So he is full steam ahead. The people are behind him. The Iranian government wants to continue fighting. Trump clearly wants to get out and doesn't know how.
Yeah.
So this is a mess.
Well, apparently he's bored with it. I mean, that's the reporting, is that he's bored. He wants to move on. He wants to move on. How do you move on?
Reality TV shows. I am so proud of the way Jim Acosta has rebounded from whatever happened at CNN to being an independent media star, Substack star, YouTube star, TikTok. I love that. And Joy, I talk to you all the time. Don, I haven't talked to you in a minute. How
I was
it
on your show.
inside?
Oh, sorry,
No,
not since then.
Like, so since you've been inside.
Yeah, unfortunately, this is also what America is all about. Niggas up here kissing ass and doing all this shit. Man, get on to the protest, man. This ain't about, you know what I'm saying? I had lunch with you last week and all this other shit. Nah, bro, we don't give a fuck about you. You got all them goddamn books back there, but you got to read the moment. Read the room, brother. You know what I'm saying? Listen, but Torrey cool, man. He be coming with some good information, man. But yeah, I think he trying to line up his next appearance on the show or some shit. So I'm gonna take back the show. This the remix with Cali Drake, man. I appreciate y'all for tapping in with your boy. We looking at these No Kings protests, man, trying to get a handle on where the country is, what the country talking about, man. So you know, that's what I'm on. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm on today. At least, you know, for the moment. You know what I'm saying? For the moment. But I appreciate y'all for rocking with your boy. Let's get back to the streets. Let's get back to the motherfucking streets, man.
Yes, please.
Yeah, because I'm in. All right, so if you look right here in front of me on the ground, so the guy I told you who lit up Stephen Miller's sidewalk with chalk, in honor of that, all of DC did it today. So right behind us is Stephen Miller's house. This is where he lives. All right.
Oh, God.
And if you look at the messages that everybody
looks like a prison.
Is that prison?
Exactly.
Looks like a prison.
We don't want to
got
dox the
brick
guy. Don't
walls.
show where. Don't talk about where he lives.
Fuck it, I'll
So
give
don't
you his
show it.
address. I'm kidding. All right,
No,
check it
no,
out.
no.
Hey, listen.
Even right
Listen.
here, somebody wrote
Shit real out here.
Stephen Miller's.
Shit
Stephen
real out
Miller's
here.
Layer, Fire Miller, Free DC, fuck fascists. But I found an empty block, and I want to leave a message here from Joy Ann Reid and Don Lemon and Jim Acosta. So what should we leave? It's you guys' message. What do you want to say?
You leave me out of this one.
Don Lemon. Hey, Don.
He already got a
Just
case.
John,
Right at
another
Lemonheads.
Hang
Leave
on.
me out of this
Free-
one, Jolly.
I'm not doing it, Don. Free Don Lemon. All right.
Signed Joy Reid. There you go.
All right. Signed Joy. I'm gonna do a Joy Ann Reid signature. Joy.
Joy, this is literal white splaining. He's using your voice.
Reid.
Katie Miller is going to come after us now.
Yeah, this nigga's breaking all kind of FCC intellectual property laws, motherfucking forgery, all on camera. Hey, this is America, man. Motherfuckers just doing whatever the fuck they feel like they need to do. Bro. This is how I go.
Love you guys.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Jolly. Thank you, Jolly. Let's see. Nick Valencia, help a brother out. Who you got anybody out there?
Oh no, do we lose Nick? He's adjusting his camera. Let's get a final comment from Paul Rykoff before we end this here, Paul, because you're in the thick of it. So let's get another comment from you. Have you talked? Like, give us just the sort of feeling and the vibe, or talk to somebody if you can. If you can grab somebody next, to grab.
Yeah, a couple things. Number one, what about the accostinators? I think that's a potential idea.
Accostinators.
All right, I like that.
I'm gonna noodle on that. I like it.
Don Lemon, I haven't seen you since they arrested you, and I just want to give you props and support. And I want to remind everybody that if they can come after Don Lemon,
Yeah.
they can come after anybody.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Shock to the back, across the bow of our democracy.
That's a fact.
And I don't think it's gotten enough attention and respect, but much respect to you, my old friend, for all you've been doing. Look, let me tell you some stuff. It's kind of surreal to be between the M&M store and like Platinum Dolls Strip Club, and then a giant cannabis sign. But in reality, when men and women are in harm's way right now, getting shot at and killed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like we have to always ground it in the reality of the fact that right now, young men and women are in harm's way, over 50,000 of them. Right. And by the time this weekend is over, he could put tens of thousands on the ground. And I think that's really, really important to understand, because I've said this before to you, Joy. He's all gas and no brakes. It's not just about Iran. It's about a forever war. Iran is just number 9 on a long list, which could include Cuba and could include Colombia. I mean, he's telegraphing his punches. So a lot of people are out here today to oppose forever wars. And that's very, very important as a galvanizing moment for America. Yeah, so true.
And Paul, look, that is the 50,000 that matters, not the Dow. The Dow is at 50,000. That's not the number that matters. And I'm glad you're bringing that into perspective.
Can we also note that 1,500 Iranian civilians have been killed by us in this? And there are actual combatants who are fighting against them.
Yeah, I don't support that. That's one thing that's not getting enough attention, and it's the that we've killed 1,500 of their civilians that didn't do anything wrong. And also, the 181, girls that were killed in that girls' school. I think they haven't given that nearly enough attention. I actually may break that whole shit down. I think I'm actually break that down. And whose mistake was that? And we got to get to the bottom of that, because I don't support that at all. You know what I'm saying? And that's a part of, you know what I mean? That looks bad on all of us as Americans, man. That's what people got to understand. I travel in it. I'm international with this shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to be international with this shit. When I travel abroad, I want motherfuckers to look at me as an American with admiration, and not any type of looking down on me. You know what I mean? Because of the actions that, the lunatic fringe group that's in the White House, has conducted all across the world. As you can see, he said, we got 10 wars going on. We'd have bombed 10 countries in 1 year. Like, that's unheard of. That's unprecedented. There's a reason for that, right? And so again, as I tie it to the Epstein files, because a lot of these political players and powerful figures are showing up in these Epstein files. And so, and Putin most definitely had a relationship with Epstein. Israel had a relationship with Epstein. Trump had a relationship with Epstein. Some of the European leaders had relationships with Epstein. And so, again, a lot of these business leaders had relationships with Epstein. Some of the Middle East sheikhs and sultans had relationships with Epstein. That's why there's 50 million documents that are associated with Jeffrey Epstein. And so, the cover-up is real to me. And this whole same class of people, think about it. We have longstanding allies in this country. NATO is a longstanding ally since World War I, World War II time. You know what I mean? World War II, I believe. But Donald Trump comes in his first administration and now in this second administration, his lenience towards Russia is very apparent. He had a 2-hour meeting with Russia with no U.S. officials in the meeting at all. And that's never been done before. That's unprecedented. Donald Trump, no U.S. officials, in Russia and their officials. So y'all got to look at the play. The only people that Donald Trump invites to this country are dictators like Viktor Orban, white supremacist fringe characters, Elon Musk, throwing Nazi signs in the White House. So all this shit's connected, man. And as I'm venturing into this, internet space, this independent media space, I'm going to continue to point that out to y'all, but y'all got to do something with this information, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe these motherfucking videos, and, become more interested in politics, because as y'all can see, politics is what got the gas prices high, which got your pockets low. Think about it. Politics is what got the gas prices high and what got your pockets low. So, I mean, this shit is important, man. I mean, I can't put it no plainer and no simpler than that, man. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, man. Support independent media.
I don't know if I'd necessarily call it a failure, because here's the thing. It's so far from done, right? I mean, there's an old saying that when you upset the hornet's nest, the hornets decide when it's over. And that's what's happening right now. The lid is blown off on Iran. And even if we pulled out tomorrow, there's still going to be death and destruction across the region. So we've got to just appreciate the fact that the missile attacks are daily. The drone attacks and the drone threats are regular and rising. And they don't just stop at our water's edge. Drone attacks on U.S. soil are something we definitely are underprepared for. We've seen drone operations over military bases in the U.S. And we are really, really less safe than ever before. And that's what you got to call them on, because Iran seems so far away. But the war is very real for the people in Ukraine, very real for the people in Tel Aviv, and it could increasingly become real for us. So we've got to always hold them accountable to that lack of safety and the waste of our military, right? Our blood, our treasure, our men and women who are in harm's way right now. And there are a lot of vets here. I'm walking about a block ahead of a giant Constitution, which is pretty damn inspiring, because that's why a lot of people are here, because they understand the Constitution. And when it comes to war, thank you, man. When it comes to the Constitution, the Congress is supposed to decide, and he's just blown past them. They're not even a speed bump. No. So it's long past time for our Congress to try to reel in what has become a forever war.
This Congress, this Republican Congress, has not only been steamrolled, but they've also laid down. They haven't fought back. And so, I mean, again, Donald Trump has the presidency, the Congress, and the Supreme Court. And that's what happens when there's a consolidation of power. And it's not geared towards benefiting the people. This class of people they don't care about the people. If you look at the Supreme Court, hell, even a couple of them is on the tape. Go look at what Clarence Thomas been doing. Go look at some of the gifts and that he's been accepting, and some of these other Supreme Court members that are accepting that are illegal. But Supreme Court justices have lifetime terms. So, that may be something we need to look at, man, and shorten that term up for these Supreme Court justices so that they feel some accountability. So, because again, when this country was founded, man, the founders of this country didn't probably expect shit to get this big and this expansive, technology to grow this the way that it has. And just like we don't know what the fuck is coming next, you know what I'm saying? But if you look at it, just a pure country structure, minus the minorities being, treated as 3/5 of a person type shit, and that kind of shit written in the Constitution. I mean, the idea of having a country where everybody has a say and everybody has a vote, that's pretty profound, especially during that time, because again, it was kings, it was dictators, it was a lot of people, it was one motherfucker ruling a lot of different shit in a lot of these countries. And so, the idea of America is actually a grand idea, and it still is to this day, because it's a lot of, you look around the globe and you look at each of these countries and their leadership, about half of them or more than half, they not like us. You know what I mean? They have somebody controlling them and telling them what to do. You go to North Korea, they telling you how to eat. As a matter of fact, it's a video on North Korea that I'm gonna actually break down, and we're gonna explain the differences. Motherfuckers think, yeah, we got it hard in America. Nah, bro. I'm trying to tell you, I pay attention to what's going on the shit globally, and it's a lot of we got a lot more opportunities, man, than a lot of places. And so what we doing with that opportunity, that's the whole thing, man. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck are we doing with that opportunity? That's the whole play. But you know what I'm saying? You go to a place like North Korea, you know what I'm saying? You gotta sing and dance and tap dance every time the leader come around. You say something bad about the leader, they execute your ass. Same as Russia. So, and these are the people that Donald Trump aligns himself with. These are the people that Donald Trump is sending love letters to. And so I have a profound understanding of this shit. And I think that's why it disgusts me and it pisses me off so much. And that's why I support what's going on today, which is these No Kings protests. Because we ain't got no motherfucking kings here, bro. You know what I'm saying? You and I sent his ass into that job. Not me personally, but I mean, the idea of a president, we send the president to the job. They work for us. It ain't the other motherfucking way around. But yet, this administration, they carry themselves like it's the other way around. And that's what I don't appreciate about this shit. It's not genuine. And I'm just about real shit. And if you fuck with me and you fuck with this channel, that's what I try to kick to y'all. They said it. What was going on? I passported up. LOL. I wanted to be proud of that. I'm from America. Yeah, most definitely, man. Like, I'm passported up too. You feel me? I travel. I try to travel whenever I can, man. But gas prices is $37 a motherfucking gallon. So in the air and the goddamn TSA asleep at the wheel. They not getting paid. So I ain't going nowhere. That's why y'all looking at my ass right now covering this No King shit. Because gas prices is $37 a gallon and the TSA ain't getting paid. So I can't even fucking go nowhere, even if I didn't have to pay the high ass gas prices to get to the goddamn airport. So I said, fuck it, I'm gonna do a show. Get these motherfucking likes up, subscribe to this channel, man. Support independent media, man, because again, it's important, man. Important to me, and it should be important to you.
Last point, you also have legacy media making excuses for the president. And when we saw him claim that he was negotiating with Iran, I don't think that there was a mistake that he was on his way to do an interview with CNBC. The markets were watching. And then you have those same anchors that turn around after Iran released a statement saying, what negotiations? And they said, well, of course they wouldn't admit if they were real because it's a death sentence in Iran. It is so beyond anything being straightforward in Trump's America. Nothing is straightforward in Trump's America. And let me, I'm juggling all this by myself here, guys. And if anyone knows that, it's our guests who are joined here by Alex Augustine. She's somebody who was charged by the feds. Here, Alex, why don't you hold that so I can get my act together?
Hello.
Alex is also one of the, can you guys hear me here? Alex is also one of the quintessential activists here in Los Angeles, and she was charged with a federal assault on an agent for using a 15-ounce umbrella to shield her face from being basically sprayed with bear spray.
Yeah.
Tell us about what you've gone through here.
I mean, it's been a really chaotic journey. After my arrest, we're still fighting charges. I am still in court proceedings till this day. I have court again on April 14th for charges that were added after I refused to accept 3 different plea deals. So it's just a lot of bullying, a lot of intimidation from our government. They know that they do not have a leg to stand on, and watching all of the other protesters and journalists and activists stand up and fight against this government just like I am is the exact reason we are all out here today, because we will not be intimidated.
It's not just that you beat the first charges. You've been charged again. You're going to have to go back to court. I don't really understand what happened to double jeopardy. It seems like they're going after you for the same thing.
Yeah, they
That's
added
only
2
murder,
extra charges
Nick.
initially, and the judge deemed one of them duplicative and excessive, but allowed the other one to remain. And so that last charge is failing to follow a lawful order is what I have to go to federal court for.
Wow. And then everyone that has sort of any sort of criticism against the Trump administration at this point is seen as an activist. I was mislabeled as a domestic terrorist. Can you speak on just how difficult it is to be part of this resistance? And it seems like it's common sense, but you're being labeled as sort of somebody people should be afraid of.
I would not say it's difficult at all. I love the saying, like, all of my heroes are on the CIA watch list and all of your heroes are on the Epstein files.
Come
so
on.
at the end of the day, I'm not really worried about it, because we all know what we're out here fighting for. It is very easy to be a part of the resistance because we are all on the right side of history, and that should be an easy decision to make for everyone.
What do you say to those people who say that nothing has changed, that nothing is really moving forward, that Trump keeps getting away with everything?
Keep watching. Or people are working really hard behind the scenes, and it may not seem like it in this moment, but the revolution does not happen overnight. You will see it. We are all going to see the fruits of the labor like this, and we are all going to see the repercussions of allowing someone like Donald Trump and his regime to slither their way into the White House. So just keep watching.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that. She's standing on all business.
One of the big activists here in Los Angeles. And, we joined you about 30 minutes ago. And just in that time, guys, you could see how much the crowd has swelled. Things kick off here in Los Angeles at 2 p.m. local time.
Wow. Thank you, Nick. You're doing such great work out there. Nick. I mean, she's fantastic. And look, she's not the only one. I mean, we don't like what she's going through, but she isn't the only one that's dealing with that. There are thousands of people across the country who are dealing with the same sort of things and, similar things, myself, one of them. So I can relate to her story of just about, just adding on top of things and prolonging because there are no resources. The government has very few resources. A lot of people have quit, and a lot of these things are just frivolous. And it doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter to them what the outcome is. They just want to put people and make the process.
It's federal harassment. I mean, it's official harassment. I mean, the idea is they know that they cannot defeat opposition to them. They can't change the way people feel about them. So they're just going about harassing journalists, harassing protesters, and they're using the legal system as a harassment vehicle, not as a vehicle to adjudicate or bring justice.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. That's a fact. And I think Nate said, yeah, you in the house for a while. Yeah, man. Listen, shit real out here. You know what I mean? And again, I challenge all of the people that say that politics doesn't matter. Who's in the White House doesn't matter. I hope we can put a dispel to that because, gas prices wasn't $6, $7, $8 a gallon a year and a half ago. You know what I mean? And so this is all by choice. This is all by design. There's a strategy to this that we are not included in. And that's the fucking problem, right? Because they got that job to include us in whatever the benefits and the fruits of the labor is, but we ain't getting none of that. We ain't getting none of that. As you can see, you know what I mean? That's why all these people out here protesting, man. You know what I'm saying? That's why, that's why when you go to the gas pump today, you're going to be paying probably like $1 more than you paid a year and a half ago. You know what I'm saying? And that shit adds up. It's a slow drain, man. The only thing that's not going up in this country is your motherfucking wages, man. I covered that on my show the other day too, man. The top 1% have exponentially increase their wages and their wealth, but the bottom 50% have not. You know what I mean? So, it's all there, man. People just got to get on the same page, man. So that's why I try to, run the content that I run. When we ain't on the bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Try to kick some real informational type of content to people, and hopefully it's getting absorbed. But shit, I listen. Listen, I'm not going back to whatever time they thought was great again. Not on my watch. That shit ain't happening. So, I'm trying to take this verbal approach, this diplomatic approach, you know what I'm saying? Create a platform, create a blend, get your message out. But at the end of the day, I ain't going. I ain't motherfucking going, man. And so that's just what it is, man. So yeah, we're gonna check in with a little bit of this, man. And then I'm gonna double back later on tonight, man, because I got some other content I want to break down later. But just a remix with Kelly Drake, man. I appreciate y'all for rocking with your boy. Look like Bernie Sanders, they did tapped in with Bernie Sanders, man. So let's see if we can get something out of what's going on in Minneapolis.
Real quick, we've just seen maybe our first. Just to note, we've seen probably our first politician on the stage, Bernie Sanders. I just want to note that there haven't been a lot of elected people getting to take the mic at these protests. But yeah, go on. I just want to note that there's one, Bernie Sanders.
Let me just say this, Jim. There was this big, strong guy. This big guy came up to me, tears in his eye, big, handsome, strong man. His unit was big.
Hold on, bro. I don't like where the fuck Don Lemon was going with that. I don't like where the fuck Don. You know what I mean? Shout out to Don Lemon, but I don't like where the fuck Don Lemon was going with that, man. But I want to check in with Bernie Sanders anyway, man. Let me see if I can find what Bernie talking about, man. Let me see. Here we go. Let's look at this real quick.
Lives in the struggle, and we promise their families and their friends that these two heroes will not have died in vain. Their sacrifice has inspired and will continue to inspire the American people in the never-ending struggle for justice. As all of you know, we are living in an unprecedented and dangerous moment in American history. In many ways, the future of our country, and in fact, the entire world, is hanging in the balance. And the actions that we take now will determine what the future looks like. The choices that we face are clear. In the wealthiest country in the history of the world, at a time of massive breakthroughs in technology, we now have the opportunity to create a nation in which all people can enjoy a dignified standard of living, where we wipe out bigotry and hatred, and where all of us can live in peace and participate in a vibrant democracy. Where the foundation of our nation is built on love, compassion, human solidarity, and an understanding. As your great former senator, the late Paul Wellstone, said, we all do better when we all do better.
Yeah, that's a fact. I'm going to leave it right there, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to leave it right there. We've been online, man. I've been covering this all morning, man. Shit, I'm on top of this shit, man. Y'all know I had to pop out for this politics, but as y'all can see, you know what I'm saying, the country turned up. Bernie Sanders out there doing what he doing, man. Here, let me put the double screen up real quick. But yeah, man, I'm about to end this, man. I'm gonna end it right here on this frame right here, man. I want y'all to see this is what democracy looks like, man. This is what speaking truth to power looks like. Use your voice, man. Get off your motherfucking ass and do what you can do to try to make this country a better place, man. And for your kids and for, you know what I'm saying, their neighbors' kids and for the people that you care about. You feel me? So yeah, I think I'm gonna end it right there, man. It's a good place to end it, man. Y'all know what time it is over here, man. We speaking truth to power all day. This the remix with Kelly Dre. Appreciate y'all for rocking with your boy. Like, comment, subscribe, man. I'm on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Kick, TikTok, wherever the fuck you want me to be, man. Holla at me, man. I'm gonna pull up over there. I'm gonna do my 1-2, man, and we're gonna speak this truth to power. You know what I'm saying, all day long, man. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for rocking with your boy, and yeah, man. Keep hope alive out this bitch, man. Keep hope alive. That's really all I can say out this motherfucker, man. I'm out.
Money on my mind, got my money in my mind, right? Money on my mind, got no time for that limelight. I'm from California, man, I guess we'll start with that. Banged out starter caps, glued to the cul-de-sac, looking like an artifact, trying to get their money back. Yellow jackets coming, mama about to have a heart attack. Southeast San Diego, we was at the heart of that. You moved about the hood, my nigga, you ain't want no part of that. Move to work and let the money drip the laundry mat. I pray to God the homie get his little daughter back. So many problems and it's not even a part of rap. So many suckers and they hating and they copycat. And life is bigger than these bitches that you hollered at. And if you bleed a dollar, better get $3 back. And all I'm giving is the facts. Pay attention to the stats and never making mention of the jacks. Gotta keep the money stacked, work your way through the traps. Money motivated to the max. Money on my mind, got my money in my mind, right? Money on my mind, got my money in my mind, right? Money